Yo, what's going on? To all the boxing world, ladies and gentlemen, it's Rapstar in the building. Hey, man, look, man, we had to cook about this. When I woke up earlier on, I had to do a graveyard shift. Everybody knows I get hyped up when it's big fights. Terence Crawford, Terence Bud Crawford, and Sean Porter has been announced. 20th of November. The fight's on. This is a big fight for the boxing world. This is Terence Crawford's first test. I'm telling the boxing world right now, this is Terence Crawford. First test. When I say the first test in a welterweight division, I'm talking the first test in boxing. Terence Crawford is a freeweight world champion. You can't take that away from him. We can't take that away from him, my brethren. Yeah? But Terence Crawford has never faced Showtime Sean Porter. He has never faced anybody like Sean Porter. I'm just going to say this. This is a big fight for us. Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, it's on. 20th of November. They've announced it, and it's on. I just checked, and I just checked BoxRec. You know what I'm saying? It's early hours in the morning here. I've done some homework. The fight's proper announced. This fight is on 20th of November. So I'm just saying this. It's coming to the end of the year, people. We've only got a few fights left. You understand? We've only got a few fucking big fights left. So I'm glad we got Terence Crawford, Sean Porter. This is a big fight, especially where Terence Crawford hasn't been tested. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford hasn't been in with a fighter like Sean Porter. There ain't been nobody. Terence Crawford's best fights are Ricky Burns and Julius Indongo, Victor Postol, Jeff Horn, Amir Khan after a retired Amir Khan, Akel Brook after 5-6 years of Akel Brook. This is his first fucking test. I'm telling you. And by the end of this year, this fight getting announced, as long as there's no COVID, there's no bullshit, and nothing, we don't get no delays, then yeah, this fight goes into the mix. Coming at the end of the year, we needed a fight like this. So I'm glad. Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, it's on point. And I'm just going to say this. We've been waiting for a few big fights now. Now, Terence Crawford, Sean Porter is in the mix. We got Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant for undisputed. That's a big fight. That's a big, massive fight as well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say AJ versus USYK in England, that's a big fight. Cruiserweight champion coming up to face AJ, that's a massive fight. Yeah? And then let's not forget the trilogy, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. That's a big motherfucking fight too. Now I'm going to ask everybody, as we got Sean Porter, Terence Crawford now, is that a bigger fight for you people than Canelo Alvarez and Plant? Now we know Canelo Alvarez and Plant is a big fight when it comes on paper. That's an undisputed fight. So of course, when it comes to accolades, there's no bigger fight than Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. But just styles make fights. As you know, people, styles make fights. And Terence Crawford, who can fight going southpaw orthodox against Showtime Sean Porter, that's a big fight. Styles make fights. So that's going to be a fan-friendly fight. Which is the biggest fight that you're anticipated to watch? Is it Sean Porter, Terence Crawford? Or is it Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant? Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder? Anthony Joshua versus USYK? These are the 4 biggest fights coming to the end of the year. As we come into the end of 2021, these are the 4 biggest fights that we've got. As long as we don't get no delays, no COVID, no injuries, then these 4 fights are supposed to happen. Well, let me just see who's in the fucking building right now. Yo, we got the one and only J Blues Radio. Shout out to J Blues Radio. We got Peter in the building. Smash that like button. That's right. You coming into the channel, if you're new, smash that like button, my brethren. Or if not, you know, subscribe to the channel if you like boxing. Yeah, we got Cali in the building. That's right, Cali. What fight do you want to watch, bro? Are you more anticipated to watch Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, Caleb Plant versus Canelo Alvarez, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, or are you more interested in AJ versus USYK like we are in England? A lot of people in England are more anticipated to watch at the end of this year AJ versus USYK. But what do you guys think? Teapot, Evan C, the one and only, the boxing historian, Bruce goes in the building, mate. What's happening, Bruce? Bacon and eggs. What's happening, bacon and eggs? You all right there, bruv? Right. So look, let's keep it moving, bruv. So bacon egg says, I'm looking forward to watch AJ versus USYK. I'm also keen to watch Bud versus Porter. Now look, at the end of the day, we got 4 of the biggest fights coming to the end of the year. So if Sean Porter and versus Terence Crawford is a fan-friendly fight, that might be the fight that takes over all the fights. You know what I'm saying? But we can't take away with the Kalen Plant versus Canelo. That's a big fucking fight. T-Pop's got AJ versus Usyk. Now, AJ versus Usyk is the biggest fight for some of the boxing fans. But when you look on paper, Canelo Alvarez and Kalen Plant is for all the marbles. That's undisputed, bro. So that's the biggest fight, really, if you look at it on paper. Canelo Alvarez versus Kalen Plant is the biggest fight. But as for fans, AJ versus Usyk might be the most fan-friendly fight that we're going to get. But I'm just going to say this. Terence Crawford, mate, I'm excited for this fight. This is Terence Crawford's first test. This is a real test. And I'm gonna just say this. If Terence Crawford beats Sean Porter decisively, or he stops Sean Porter, man, I'm gonna say this right now. Rapstar's gonna say this right now, bro. If Terence Crawford stops, or he puts Sean Porter, or he puts him on the floor, because ain't no one stopped him. There ain't nobody who's hurt Sean Porter. I mean, he's been hurt by Adrian Broner, but he got back up and he won that fight. He's been hurt with Errol Spence, but he came back and he won some of those rounds with Errol Spence. Some people said he gave Keith Thurman the hardest fight in Keith Thurman's career. So far as I'm concerned, for me, the fight that I'm looking forward to now, it is Sean Porter versus Terence Crawford. That's one of the biggest fights for me in 2021 now. Because that fight, stylistically, the matchup, I just can't beat it. That's going to be a fan-friendly fight. That's going to be toe-to-toe. And I just feel that Terence Crawford's going to get all the smoke that he's been waiting for, mate. This is the first time Terence Crawford's going to be in a test. This is the first time that Terence Crawford can possibly get put on the floor. I'm not saying he ain't been on the floor before, but this could be the first time he really gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? So Terence Crawford could be in it, and we don't even know how good he is until he goes in the ring with Showtime Sean Porter. Because Terence Crawford hasn't fought any elite welterweights. The man hasn't fought anybody compared to Sean Porter. So far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a big and a massive fight for Terence Crawford. As well as this test for Sean Porter, I think it's a bigger test for Terence Crawford because Sean Porter's been in fights. You know what I mean? Sean Porter's humbled people. He's been in fights with elite guys like Errol Spence, Kell Brook, Keith Thurman. He's been in all those fights, Danny Garcia. So he knows what it's like to hang with the best. This is Terence Crawford's first time to actually come and step in and show the boxing world that he is that guy. Because if he beats Sean Porter, I'm going to tell you this right now. If he beats Sean Porter and he beats him convincingly, then the way I look at it is Terence Crawford is that guy. And he's going to put everybody on fucking notice. I don't give a fuck who you are. If he beats Sean Porter and he beats him convincingly, I'm going to say this right now. He's the boogeyman. He's the man in the division, and everybody better watch out because he is that man who's coming to beat Errol Spence then. If I see this guy and he puts a great show against Sean Porter, then yeah, I'm going to go with Terence Crawford being that guy. He'd be the number one welterweight for me. Depends how he beats Sean Porter. But at the same time, Sean Porter can humble Terence Crawford. It could be Terence Crawford's last fight. Anything can happen. It's boxing. And we don't know how he's going to handle somebody like a pit bull, like a guy like Sean Porter. Because Sean Porter comes from the first round to the last round. He don't fucking stop. As far as I'm concerned, Sean Porter's work rate, you better be able to humble him because he's going to humble you. So, yeah, this is a hard fight. And so for me, right now, I favor Terence Crawford 55-45 going into this fight. I favor Terence Crawford 55-45 going into this fight. But give me a sec. At the end of the day, As far as I'm concerned, right now, if Terence Crawford and Sean Porter is on the November the 20th, we got an okay year. Our year's all right. We got a good year of boxing. As long as all the fights they don't move, they don't get delayed, we don't get no injuries, we don't get no motherfucking COVID, then we're good. We got some fucking good fights coming up. We got 4 big fights, not to mention we got Teofimo Cambosis. We got many other fights which are announced, but the 4 biggest fights right now is where Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, AJ versus USYK, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, which is a big conspiracy fight now. That's still a big fight right now because at the end of the day, we never got undisputed. So with AJ versus USYK, the next biggest heavyweight fight. In fact, it's a bigger heavyweight fight. It's Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder probably is a bigger heavyweight fight than USYK versus AJ. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, those are the fights that we got. But what do you guys think in this fight? What's the chances? How you guys got Terence Crawford going in against Showtime Sean Porter? You know what I'm saying? You got Terence Crawford beating Showtime Porter, or you got Porter who might humble Terence Crawford? Can Terence Crawford outbox Sean Porter, or is he going to be able to stop Sean Porter? Because ain't nobody stopped Sean Porter. There ain't been nobody in boxing who's ever stopped Sean Porter. So can you imagine if Terence Crawford puts a stop to Sean Porter? That's a big fucking. That's a big. Hey, listen, that's putting people on notice, bro. That's putting people on notice. But if Showtime Sean Porter beats Crawford, then guess what? That's not unexpected either. You know what I'm saying? That could. Hey, Sean Porter could humble Terence Crawford in there. He might hurt him in there. You never know. It's fucking boxing and we don't know. Styles make fights and it's a good matchup. Give me a sec, guys. Now, the bigger fight, really, the biggest fight in 2021 is Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. There ain't a bigger fight than this. This is the biggest stylistic matchup right now. This is the undisputed fight. It's way bigger than Sean Porter, Terence Crawford. But I just think Sean Porter, Terence Crawford is a fan-friendly fight. But on paper, this is a bigger fight. This is one of the biggest fights that we got coming to the end of the year. This has been announced. This is on BoxRec. It's out there. This fight is already, it's announced. It's done. What's the chances of Caleb Plant? A lot of people say that Caleb Plant is that guy who can stop Canelo or beat Canelo. Ain't nobody stopping Canelo, first of all. And ain't nobody beating Canelo. As far as I'm concerned, people say that Caleb Plant is that guy who's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. And I'm talking about a lot of credible people in boxing. The last couple of weeks since this fight's been announced, people think that Caleb Plant is that guy who is going to be the first guy after Mayweather who's going to stop or beat Canelo Alvarez. Now, I don't know what the fuck they're watching because it ain't what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what I'm fucking watching. I don't know how they think when I hear fans saying that Caleb Plant is that guy. But they said the same thing about Billy Joe Saunders. They said Billy Joe Saunders has got the skills, and he does have the skills. But he couldn't do nothing with Canelo Alvarez. What does Caleb Plant have that has took over the people's boxing world, and real boxing credible people think Caleb Plant will beat Canelo Alvarez. What the fuck are they watching? Because there's nothing that I saw Caleb Plant does that shows me gives Canelo Alvarez a lot of problems. Caleb Plant doesn't have the power. Caleb Plant might have the footwork, but Canelo Alvarez knows how to deal with that. Canelo Alvarez will know how to cut the distance against Caleb Plant, if you ask me. What does Caleb Plant do differently that Canelo Alvarez hasn't seen, is the question. Now, it's a big fight, but for me, I believe Canelo Alvarez stops Caleb Plant under 10 rounds. That's right. I've seen Caleb Plant's skill set, and I've seen that what he's been doing with Caleb Turex and the guy he fought before that. He don't look that impressive. Yeah, he knows how to outbox people, but he's outboxing C-plus fighters. He's never been in with an elite at 168. Caleb Plant is not that guy against elite boxers. He might look good against a Caleb Turex, a 40-year-old man who lost to James DeGale about fucking 6 years ago. But when you're talking about elite, then there's nothing that I see Caleb Plant brings that gives trouble to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has the chin, he has the heart, he has the grit, he has the power. You know what I'm saying? He's seen styles like Caleb Plant. Billy Joe Saunders moves on his feet just as Caleb Plant does. So there's nothing that Caleb Plant brings that everybody's out there jumping around, especially those PBC boys, especially those Deontay Wilder fanboys, right? They've got Caleb Plant beating Canelo. Then, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is. Because they won't put no money on it. They won't put a fucking dollar on it or a pound on it. All they ever say is, yeah, Caleb Plant's going to win. Put your money down. They won't put no money down on Caleb Plant because they don't believe in it. They're just saying it in case he gives Canelo Alvarez some trouble. I mean, how the fuck? We've seen Canelo Alvarez, right? I mean, let's keep it real. Let's keep it logic right now. We've seen Canelo Alvarez against fighters like Austin Trout, Lara, Daniel Jacobs, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley. That was his earlier days. He experienced and gained from Floyd Mayweather as a young kid. Gennady Golovkin. Let's just remember, Canelo Alvarez has faced majority styles, and he's faced way better fighters, way more accomplished fighters than Caleb Plant. So when people say to me, yo, Rapstar, you know what? Caleb Plant is that guy. He's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. I just don't see it. I don't know what I'm missing. Anyway, let's go to the chat for a moment. Jonathan Ramirez in the building. Jonathan Ramirez says, I want Sean to win because Crawford be cherry picking and dodging big fights, and Sean probably would be better and making those fights going forward. Well, put it this way, right, Jonathan? I'll be honest with you. This is Terence Crawford's biggest fight. This is Terence Crawford's biggest fight in the whole of Terence Crawford's career. So, yeah, it's a big fight, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's a massive fight for Crawford. You know, and lucky he's got that fight. Because if he didn't get a fight, Sean Porter, ain't nobody was interested in watching the kind of opponents that Terence Crawford's been facing. Ain't nobody interested in those fucking opponents that Terence Crawford been fighting. So yeah, Sean Porter is that guy. So we should be happy about that. And we are happy about that. Because that's going to bring some excitement to the table. That's a big fight. For the welterweight division right now, Sean Porter, Terence Crawford, it's made it in my top 4. It's in my top 4 right now at the end of 2021. T-Pop says Plant doesn't have the resume. Now, Plant doesn't have the resume. He got some skills. Kalen Plant got some skills, but skills against average fighters. They're not skills against opponents that Canelo Alvarez has faced. You know what I'm saying? They're different kind of a fucking opponent. Canelo Alvarez been facing elite opponents. So it's a different ball game. You can all look good against a C- fighter. We can all look good against a C- fighter. It's doing the same shit against an A+ fighter. Yeah, Kalen Plant might look good doing all that stuff, yeah? But can he do all that against the one pound for pound guy in Canelo Alvarez? Tell me that, bruv. You think that your game plan ain't going to be totally different to how you've been fighting against all these other opponents. But when you face the pound for pound guy, bruv, it's a different level. Kalen Plant's soul's going to be tested in there. And you know it, and I know it. Because Canelo Alvarez is that kind of fighter. He will test your soul. He's bringing it. And I'm telling you this now, for those tweets, and I believe with all that hate and how Kalen Plant went all crazy against Canelo Alvarez on Twitter, he might pay a price for that. I'm just saying, Kalen Plant better be that guy. Kalen Plant better be that guy, because Canelo Alvarez is coming for an arse whooping, mate. He's coming to take him out. I do believe that. I believe he's pissed him off, making those fake accusations about him. Kalen Plant's in trouble. Unless he's that guy, and he's that fighter, that people reckon, and people say to me that Kalen Plant has got those skills, rap star. Kalen Plant is a top fighter, rap star. Got one of the best amateur careers. All right? Well, Kalen Plant better fucking bring it. I'm just saying. Kalen Plant better fucking bring it. Because this time round, he ain't messing with... Look, Canelo Alvarez is the one who picked him. Remember that. Canelo Alvarez is the one who picked Kalen Plant to become undisputed. So he ain't watching him for shit. He's looking to go through him, and he's looking to just become undisputed. Ain't nothing Kalen Plant's bringing him that he's worried about. But let's see what the chat's saying, bro. Peter says, Canelo versus Plant will be a premier spectacular fight. Hey, look, that's probably the biggest fight in 2021 now. As we come to the last quarter, like I told you, we got Sean Porter, Terence Crawford, Canelo, Plant, Fury Wilder, and AJ versus USYK. And Canelo Plant is the biggest fight on paper. Because that's an undisputed fight. So there ain't no bigger fight than that when you talk about it on accolade. So Robert says, it's not a bigger fight, bro. You tripping. What one's not a bigger fight, Robert? Was it Rocket? What's not a bigger fight, Rocket? Elaborate, bro. What are you talking about? What's not a bigger fight? Canelo Alvarez versus Kalen Plant is the biggest fight on paper right now in 2021. As we're going into the last quarter, that's the biggest fight. There ain't no bigger fight than that. But as fans, what they're wanting to watch, that might not be the fight that they want to watch. The biggest fight they might want to watch is AJ USYK. Depends who you ask. Canelo Alvarez versus Plant is probably a bigger fight to other fans. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury versus Wilder is the biggest fight for especially the Wilder fanboys. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder is the biggest fight, especially when you look at all the Deontay Wilder fanboys. That's the biggest fight. They don't even want to watch anything else. So it depends who you ask. The biggest fight right now, I think, on paper, is Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. Jesus says Porter will be stopped by Bud, like like Ali said. A nigger ain't scared of another nigger after Liston and Foreman. Man, what the fuck? Why you have to use the N word anyway, bro? But hey, I guess that's what it is. Jonathan Ramirez says, I want to see Plant in the first face-off. You know that Plant's going to be worried when he looks into Canelo Alvarez's eyes in that first fucking face-off. Mate, he better be ready. Everything that Plant said he is, he better be. That's all I'm saying. Everything that Plant thinks he is, as a boxer, as a fighter, as a warrior, for his family, he better be that guy. Because I'm telling you now, Canelo Alvarez is coming to take his head off. And I reckon Canelo Alvarez, this time, is coming in to look for a stoppage. Because normally he'll fight and he'll win the fight. Lately, he ain't been stopping people. He stopped Billy Joe. But he didn't stop Caleb Smith. But I reckon he's going to go for a stoppage. If he hurts Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez is going to go for a stoppage. He's not going to hold back. Or the press conference. Yeah, I hear you. Peter says it's a unification fight. That's a big fight. It's an undisputed fight. It's for all the titles. So Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant is bigger than USYK versus AJ, isn't it? Or is AJ versus USYK because it's a heavyweight fight? That's a bigger fight. What you think? No, Peter, you got no look, Peter, you got a very good that's a good opinion that Teofimo Lopez versus Cambosis is a bigger fight on paper than Crawford versus Sean Porter. But the biggest fight in attraction for fans, if you ask me, is Sean Porter versus Terence Crawford, hands down. Teofimo Lopez against Cambosis has kind of lost the buzz a bit, but on paper, it's a much bigger fight. Yeah? On paper, Cambosis versus Teofimo Lopez is a bigger fight. But fan friendly and fight, we all expect Teofimo Lopez to beat Cambosis. See, that's the difference. We all expect Teofimo Lopez to go in there and put a stop to Cambosis. Most majority boxing fans just expect Teofimo Lopez to go and put him to sleep. There ain't not many people thinking at all that Cambosis has got a chance to beat Teo. So in our mind, yeah, it's a big fight because it's for an undisputed. But the bigger fight for the fans is Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, when it comes to the excitement as fight fans. You know what I'm saying? Because fight fans know that Teo's fight, you're expecting Teo to win. With Terence Crawford and Sean Porter, it's more of a 50-50 fight. You don't know what to expect in there. Things can happen. We might see Terence Crawford in a vulnerable position. So yeah, I don't think. Of course, if you're going to look at paper, then Terence Crawford and Porter ain't as big as Teo versus Cambosis. That's a good point. What is Porter going to for Crawford? Nothing. Absolutely nothing for Bud. Career. Now, Peter, I think you're wrong. It actually gives, if Terence Crawford Sean Porter's a big name on his resume. I think it's the biggest name on his resume. If we think about it, you know, as a fighter, we all know what Sean Porter brings. So for Terence Crawford to fight Sean Porter and he beats him, it kind of certifies him. It kind of tells the boxing world, it puts them on notice that now he's beating elite, and he's beating elite welterweights, not no C minus welterweights, a B plus, A minus, A fighter. Sean Porter's an A plus fighter, even if you can call it. You know what I'm saying? He's an elite. So that's a big fight for Terence Crawford. So now there's a lot to prove. For me, there's a lot to prove for Crawford on that fight. Jesus says, rap. I think Bud beats all welterweights. Yes, Ortiz, Ennis, Ben, he can beat them all. Yeah, no, I get ya. But you know, if he beats Sean Porter, it tells us the way it's the way he beats Sean Porter, bro. You know what I'm saying, Jesus? It depends how the fight unfolds. You know what I'm saying? If all of a sudden Terence Crawford goes in there and he puts in a masterclass performance, then come on, bruv. Let's keep it real. At the end of the day, we got to give Terence Crawford all his respect because ain't nobody beat Sean Porter that convincingly. So it depends how he beats him. If he beats him better than Errol Spence, beats him better than Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying? If he beats him better than those guys, then you better recognize that Terence Crawford's that guy because he beat a fighter which they couldn't beat. And if he stops him, and he beats them better than those guys, then people are gonna say, yeah, he beat Sean Porter better than Errol Spence, and he beat him better than Keith Thurman. So now Terence Crawford's that guy. So that name gives him a lot of reputation. Sean Porter, beating Sean Porter, it might not be no belts, but it gives you a lot of recognition and reputation in the boxing world. And that's a fact. Cali, that's right, bro. Cali understands boxing. That's a true test for Terence Crawford. And that's facts, bro. That'll be the first true test. That's right, Cali. He knows his boxing, bro. That is the biggest test for Terence Crawford. So at the end of the day, if you've been watching Crawford's career wisely, you know that Crawford hasn't been facing opponents like Sean Porter in the welterweight division. Sean Porter's the more active fighter right now in the top five in any sanctioning body. So this is a big fight for him, bro. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no Jeff Horn coming into position, beating fucking Manny Pacquiao in Australia by, you know what I'm saying, by a fluke. Because that's the biggest win he's got. So yeah, Sean Porter's a big fucking win. This is everything for Terence Crawford to prove. So I don't care what people say, oh, he ain't got much to prove. He got everything to prove. Terence Crawford's got everything to prove in this fight. He better win, and he better win convincingly. Otherwise, people are just going to say that Terence Crawford was been moving fucking wisely. Terence Crawford hasn't been facing some serious opponents. He hasn't faced opponents like Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? He ain't been facing those guys. And we all know why he ain't faced them. Because he's on the other side of the street. He's not with the PBC. He's with top. So this is the first time that he's crossed. You know what I mean? He's at least going and making a fight with another promoter. It's about time Terence Crawford gets into a fight. Here we are. You know what I mean? We can't give him no passes. What's the biggest thing Terence Crawford's done, bro? Come on. You know what I mean? We make a big thing out of Crawford. This is the biggest thing for him to do. Stop all the bullshit. People make a big thing. Look, Terence Crawford is a Hall of Fame fighter. But he's a 3-weight world champion against who, bro? Tell me the fucking names that you're going to remember when it's all said and done. This is the biggest fight that you're going to remember about Terence Crawford. This ain't no big thing. This is everything. This is everything right now for Terence Crawford. Because he ain't faced no opponent like Sean Porter. Let's get that shit straight out here. People make a big thing out of his career, bruv. But when you look at it, the only things I don't like is you don't remember the fighters that he's fought. You ain't never going to remember any of Terence Crawford's fights. But I bet you remember about this fight. I bet you will remember about this fight. Terence Crawford, Sean Porter is probably going to go down as one of the best fights in 2021. We might even see Terence Crawford on the floor. We don't know. We ain't seen Terence Crawford in those positions. Yeah, he's been on a couple of flash knockdown with Mean Machine, but he won't hurt. Now he's coming against somebody who can hurt him. So look, we don't know what Sean Porter's coming. This is a Sean Porter towards the end of his career. But one thing I do know is Sean Porter going to bring it. So you better get ready for a good fight. That's all I'm saying. I like watching Canelo fight. Shame about the PED things. Yeah, I hear you, bro. But that shit's done and buried. That's got nothing to do with him now, innit? That was something that he did years ago, which was saying that it's legal now. But they gave all that Valdez fucking treatment to Canelo Alvarez. Everything that Valdez did, Valdez fucking got in trouble. Canelo Alvarez got the slandering. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about that if you want in a minute. The J. Roos theory. Canelo may not lose another fight. Hey, that's possible, bruv. That could be possible. But I'm just saying this. If Canelo Alvarez carries on fighting, he's going to come against... Where's he going to go? David Benavidez? Arthur Beterbiev? Dimitri Bivol? I mean, where's Canelo Alvarez going to go, bro, after if he beats Caleb Plant and becomes undisputed? They're going to be hard fights. It only gets harder from here. It don't get easier because that's the type of fighter Canelo Alvarez is. Anyway, smash that like button, bro. We're cooking early hours in the morning out here, bro. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hey, Peter says Canelo can leap tall buildings with a single bound. Canelo Alvarez can leap tall buildings with a single bound. Jesus says it may be fixed. Canelo may play with him and lose a decision. Man, I don't know about all that, bro. I don't know about all that conspiracy theory shit right now, bro. Canelo Alvarez ain't going in to fight Caleb Plant unless he's looking to become undisputed. And that's just facts. Jonathan Ramirez says, you know, all the haters going to pour money on Canelo's name in fight night right after he wins and make some money. They will all go and make a video about him ducking someone else. Yeah, but the Canelo Alvarez hate ain't going to stop because, you know what I mean, when you're the best and you're the best of the best, you're always going to find a whole bunch of fucking people who are always going to find a way to put you down. That's just that's the price you got to pay for becoming the best. Mayweather had to pay that price. Now it's Canelo Alvarez's time. He's got to pay that price. NWG says, I think Canelo knocks out Plant in 7 rounds. Shit, bro. Mate, I'll tell you what. Hey, I'd rather put money on that bet, to be fair. I mean, you know what I mean? I think Kalen Plant will go more than 7 rounds. Kalen Plant will go more than 7 rounds. I've got him going at 10 rounds. I believe Canelo Alvarez will take him into the later rounds. Or he'll just outbox him. But, you know, the first 3-4 rounds are going to tell us everything about that fight. Yo, salute to Silver Solomon, bro. 2011. What's happening, bro? Shout out to you. Yeah, that'd be a big fight, Jonathan Ramirez. August versus Virgil Ortiz would be a banger. That'd be a great fight for Virgil Ortiz, man. If he can fight August, wow, that'd be a big fight, bro. Yeah, respect, Cali. Yeah, that's right. So Cali's got Plant, no chance. No chance in hell. Kalen Plant can beat Canelo. Cali got no confidence in Kalen Plant. Plant will bring on interpreter to respond to Canelo. Interpreter at the weigh-in. You know what I would do if I was Plant? I wouldn't hesitate, bruv. If I was Kalen Plant, I'll bring it to Canelo Alvarez. That's right. If I was Kalen Plant, I'll bring it to him. In the press conference, I'll give it to him verbally. Because now he's started that way. He's already given it to Canelo Alvarez on the Twitter. You know what I'm saying? He's already expressed his feelings about Canelo Alvarez. So now he better keep that same energy. Kalen Plant better keep that same energy if he goes in a press conference and he sees Canelo Alvarez. That's all I'm saying. Yeah? Kalen Plant better keep that same energy when he goes in a press conference, when he sees Canelo Alvarez's eyes to eyes, he better keep that same energy. The way that he was slandering him the other day, he better fucking keep that energy when he goes in that press conference. That's all I'm saying. Peter says Teofimo Lopez has a lot more to lose than Crawford does. I mean, it depends, right? At the end of the day, Teo's a young boy, a young guy. You know what I mean? He's still got all the time in the world. Crawford's coming to the end of his career. I mean, he's got a lot more to lose on paper, but Crawford's got a legacy to lose. Crawford was undisputed at 140. So come on. You know what I mean? We got to remember, Teofimo Lopez is still a young guy. He got his whole fucking career ahead of him. Jonathan Ramirez, Canelo versus Plant is number 1 for him. Joshua versus Usyk is number 2. Teofimo Lopez versus Cambosis is number 3. And number 4 is Fury versus Wilder. Huh? And then you got Crawford versus Porter. Okay, okay. That's a choice. Hey, that's a good choice as well, bro. D Calico in the building. Yo, D man. Man, I'm mash up out here, bro. I'm tired, but you know what? We still talking this boxing, bro. Ain't that regular rap star with that crazy energy right now. But you know, we cooking out here, D Calico. Let me send you a link. You want a link? Want to talk about Terence Crawford and Sean Porter, bro? Your favorite fighter? One sec, man. There's a link for somebody. But yeah, man, Terence Crawford, Sean Porter. It might not be the biggest fight on paper, but the way I look at it, as a fan-friendly fight, it's in the top 4. It's definitely got to be one of the biggest fights. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be way more exciting than most of the fights. So I'm way more looking forward to now Sean Porter versus Crawford. But let me show you this as well. Give me a sec. Check it out. It's announced already. Yo, give me a sec, bro. See that? The fight's definitely on, bro. The fight ain't going nowhere. It's a real fucking fight. And the fight's for real. Give me a sec. Let me let you in, bro. Yo, what's happening, H?
Yo, what up, Rap Star, my brother? What's good, Rap Star Boxing Knowledge? H Money in the building.
Hey, H Money, man. The fight's announced, bro. The fight's
Yes,
here,
sir.
bro. We ain't playing out here. Terence
I'm
Crawford,
excited.
Sean Porter. Hey, listen, I'm going to say this, H Money. This is one of the biggest fights for me. Coming to the end of 2021, I'm excited about this fight, bro. I'm happy to see Terence Crawford getting the fight that he deserves. People don't recognize if he beats Sean Porter, he'll start putting everybody on notice. He will become the #1 guy in the welterweight division. Depends how he beats Sean Porter, though. What do you think about this fight, H Money? Before I go to the other people in the panel.
Yeah, it's a great fight, Rap Star. I'm excited. Terence Crawford, one of the best fighters in boxing, pound for pound, former undisputed champion, undefeated champion, 3-division world champion, 2-time lineal champion. Against Sean Porter. Sean Porter, who is free smoke. Sean Porter has been in the ring with every welterweight champion right now. He's been in the ring with Ugas, Earl Spence, and now Terence Crawford. This is a great matchup. I picked Terence Crawford to beat Sean Porter, but I think it's going to be a very good fight, very competitive fight. But I think Sean Porter, Sean Porter cannot box with Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford stick to his game plan, Terence Crawford will outbox Sean Porter and win easy. I think Terence Crawford beats Sean Porter better than anybody, better than Keith Thurman, better than Earl Spence. I think he's going to dominate him better than Kell Brook. So I got Terence Crawford.
Okay, yeah, man. But look, at the end of the day, we got 5-6 big fights, right? H Money, before I go to the next brother. We got 5-6 big fights. We got Fury Wilder. We got Anthony Joshua versus USYK. We got Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. We got Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos for the undisputed. Now we got 2 undisputed fights going on. And then we got Sean Porter, Terence Crawford. Now, where would you put Sean Porter, Terence Crawford in that mix? In your top, let's say, give me your top 5 fights for the end of the year.
Easy.
And lay them down from #1 to #5 in how they mean that much to you.
Okay, #1 will be Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, the trilogy, the rubber match. This is going to be a great fight. It's one of the most talked about fights in boxing. #2, Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant for undisputed. #3 will be Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. And #4, I would say #4 will be Sean Porter versus Terence Crawford. #5, I would say #5 on my list, I would say Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos.
Wow, that's a good fucking. Hey, listen, if everything goes to plan and we don't get no delays, that's a good 2021 going towards the end of the year. Now, D Calico, my brother, how you feeling out there, bruv?
Oh, all is well, brother.
Hey, man, what do you feel about this Terence Crawford and Sean Porter fight? Finally, the fight's on, bruv. Terence Bud Crawford against Showtime Sean Porter. How you feeling about it?
Man, this is the most able-bodied fighter that Terence Crawford has ever gotten in the ring with.
Fact.
You know, and on top of that, one thing we all know about Sean Porter, he's gonna pressure the whole fight. He's gonna bring more pressure than we've ever seen Terence Crawford in the ring with. Now if he bring his true A game and get elusive and be on his defense and try to counter, then we might see the best Terence Crawford. But if he dare try to get in there and rumble in the jungle, I think it's gonna be hell to pay. You know what I'm saying? Because like Terence Crawford, Sean Porter can be dropped, and Terence Crawford can be wobbled. But I don't really know if Terence Crawford's gonna knock him down, and that's the only way he can win. Because nobody's gonna knock Sean Porter out. I don't think nobody in boxing can knock Sean Porter out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. And it's not gonna happen against Terence Crawford. But if Terence Crawford really brings their game and try to avoid Sean Porter, running at him like a bull, if he try to run head up with the bull, it's gonna be ugly.
Well, Ugas did. Ugas ran straight up on Sean Porter, and Sean Porter, he ran away from Ugas. Ugas walked him down. I thought Ugas won that fight. So we seen Kell Brook tie up Sean Porter. You know what I mean? Sean Porter, he got beat 3 times already, bro.
Ugas got the best punch out of all of them guys in that division.
You said you got the best what?
You got the best punch.
That's not true. Ugas only got 13 knockouts, bro. He's not a knockout artist. Earl Spence got more knockouts than him. Terence Crawford on 6 straight knockouts. Terence Crawford hit harder than Ugas. Ugas is a great boxer. Ugas ain't got power. Who did Ugas knock out, bro? Since you said that best punch, who he knocked out?
It ain't about who he knocked. It's about everybody he punched.
Bro, you said his punch.
In the eyes.
So tell me about that punch.
What you mean? You saw it. You just saw it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he could box. That's boxing. It was a jab.
No. He was fighting with one arm.
Ugas can box. Now, Ugas is not a knockout artist, but guess what?
I ain't saying no knockout. He punched the hardest.
Ugas walked down Sean Porter. Ugas outdogged Sean Porter. Ugas had more dog than Sean Porter that night.
Huh?
But check this out, though, right? Check this out. Hey, check this out.
Ugas was more of a dog than Sean Porter that night.
I know that.
If I'm Sean Porter, right, and I'm behind the 8 ball, that means I got to work that much harder to come from behind and get a hit. Right or wrong?
Yeah. But the brother was right though. Sean Porter is a dog. Where'd the brother go? Come back. Sean Porter is a dog. Now, Terence Crawford he's never been in a dog with somebody like Sean Porter. But Terence Crawford fought Mean Machine. Cal Velasquez, he's a very good fighter, and he just gave Virgil Ortiz a lot of problems. And Mean Machine gave Terence Crawford problems. So people feel like if Mean Machine was able to do it, so will Sean Porter. But Terence Crawford knocked out Mean Machine.
Sean Porter won't be sure.
And what, the 11th round?
He's been there before. He's not going to be shook at all. He's going to be calm, cool, and collected. Just like
Mean Machine can't beat Sean Porter.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Sean Porter does have a draw on his resume. I mean, Porter, I got Porter winning that fight, though. I think Porter beat Mean Machine, but I think Mean Machine will give him some problems, too.
Look, Danny Garcia, he's nobody special, but Danny Garcia, Keith,
you didn't answer my question.
Come on, who Danny Garcia be that welterweight, bro? Give me a break.
No, but what it is, he man, let's be honest. Like, like they say, beauty in the eye, be the holder. Like, man, this guy basically, could have won every fight that we saw him in. It was close fights. He didn't get demolished by nobody. But
he lost. No matter what you say, he lost. And he should have lost to Ugas, too. He should have another loss by Ugas.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about this? Some people said, right, man, that Terence Crawford, some people came on my channel and said that Terence Crawford ain't got much to gain to beat.
I think it goes either way, man.
Now, for me, he's got a lot to gain.
Depends on what
because it's a big name. And if he beats Sean Porter better than Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, people are going to say that Terence Crawford's that guy.
We gotta
I
have
think it
more
gives him,
ties,
like,
man. We gotta have
certifies
more
him.
draws and more ties.
Yo,
in the
Bolt Hype,
sport.
can you let me speak before you start going on my, let me get this shit off, bruv. Right? So what I'm saying is, when Terence Crawford, if he puts a better performance on than Errol Spence done, people are going to say that Terence Crawford's that guy. Has Terence Crawford got a lot to gain for beating Sean Porter? That's the question, H.
It could be a draw. I don't mind a draw. If it becomes a draw, it's nobody. I mean, nobody loses out of that. It just cements what we all thought, right? So I think a draw is possible. You know.
Now the question is, right? Has Terence Crawford got a lot to gain for beating Sean Porter?
But why do you guys always want to make it one guy versus the other? Why does one guy have to be the good guy and another guy have to be the bad guy? Like, in order for you guys to choose a winner,
I don't know what you're talking about. No good guy and bad guy here, bro.
You have
We're
to hate
talking
the other
about
man.
boxing out here, bro. We're not talking about no good guy and bad guy.
Slandering, bro. You're being very slanderous and very scandalous, and you're trying to besmirch and kick dirt on people and darken up their name, bro. That's not cool.
Anyway, the question is, yo, let me get back to you, bro, Bolt. Hey, D Calico, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Money. I can hear you.
I don't know what the fuck's happening with people out here on
the panel. No, I'm back. I had no mute.
Well, let me ask this. What has Terence Crawford got to gain for beating Sean Porter? That's the question.
It's simple. It's respect. You hear me? Like, if he wanted the real notoriety, because he's gaining the notoriety by beating up. It's like he's good enough to be in Division I, but he's been beating up on Division. Sure. He's been beating up on Division II opponents. And I'm not impressed. He's never beat anybody that I'm impressed. You know what I mean? Except for,
you want to start making some real money. You know what I'm saying?
The guy that Devin Haney recently beat. The nobody. The guy that Deontay, everybody
come on, bro. Gamboa was a 2-time champion and Olympic gold medalist, bro. He's a great,
I know, and I give him respect for beating him back then. That's the only fight I can even think of.
What about Victor Postal? Victor Postal, who was an undefeated champion. Victor Postal, who's an Olympian, who just gave Jose Ramirez a tough fight. Victor Postal was a good win on his resume.
So you think,
by the time you get into your 30s,
that was a good win. Victor Postal was a good fighter.
So you big on Ramirez?
Say it again.
I said you big on Ramirez?
Yeah, Ramirez is a very good fighter. He only one loss to Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, one of the best in the world. So even Jose Ramirez gave Josh Taylor some problems in the beginning of that fight. Yeah, Jose Ramirez is a very good fighter, bro. He was a former unified champion.
Yeah, I know he's good.
But you're saying it like you're surprised, man. I don't think anyone was surprised by that each money. Are you trying to tell us?
Surprised by what, buddy?
Are you
surprised by what? What are you talking about?
Are you
surprised by what? A lot of people was picking Jose Ramirez in that fight. That was a 50-50 fight, bro.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 fight.
Exactly. A lot of people were surprised that Josh Taylor beat Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, but you're trying to tell DeCalico about a guy like he might not have heard of him. Like if he would have heard about him.
He just asked me a question. What did you talking about?
You were trying to explain who this
Ramirez. I wasn't even talking to you. I wasn't even talking to you, bro.
Yo, hey, Bolt Hype. Just hold back right now, Bolt Hype. I got
sit back, buddy.
My homie out here, Andrew Tucker, the one and only. What's happening, Andrew?
Hey, what's going on with my brothers, man? Rap Star, my brother from another mother, my brother H Money, my brother from another mother. What's going on, my brothers, man? How y'all feeling, man?
What's good, Andrew?
What's good, man?
Another day, another dollar. You know what it is.
Hey, listen, do you have to be rude when another man comes in here, Bolt Hype? You talking? Can you just let Andrew talk, bro?
Yeah, man, I had to come through for a minute, man. I was very exhausted, man. I had, a long work day today, so I'm kind of tired. But and I had a family emergency. I had to go see about my disabled grandmother. But everything's good, man. But I just wanted to say, man, that I'm glad, I'm happy for this fight, man. Sean Porter, and Terence Crawford. I think stylistically we're gonna get an entertaining fight. I think like I heard some people mention like Sean Porter has never been stopped. Yeah, you got to give Sean Porter credit for the guys he have been in the ring with, and also fighting a lot of tough guys at welterweight. You know what I mean? And so yes, his resume in the welterweight division is a good resume, whether win or lose. You know, so you got to respect him. He's if I'm not mistaken, he's a 2-time champion. And so you gotta respect the guy. Got a lot of heart. You know, I love. You know, he's a warrior. He gets in there and he leave it all in the ring. It was certain styles that was able to offset Sean Porter, and you know, like a certain style, like your Dennis Ugas was able to offset him. You know, he got a little better since that fight with Cal Brook. He made some adjustments, improved just a little bit since that fight. But even that fight, you know, Cal Brook's style, you know, was able to offset him. You know what I mean? So I can honestly say that Sean Porter has improved and evolved into a slightly better fighter since that fight. But you know, style make fights, and I think stylistically it's going to be a good fight. I think both of these guys have the will to win. Both of these guys got dog inside of them, and they're going to do what they have to do to win the fight. So that's why I believe that's what's going to make, because of their styles, that's what's going to make this fight entertaining. I just think the slightly smarter fighter is Bud Crawford. I think he's going to pull away. Once he starts to make the necessary adjustments, he's going to pull away and slightly maybe outpoint, you know, Sean Porter. You know, Sean Porter, he is a busy fighter. He lets his hands go, very aggressive, come forward, apply pressure, have that bulldoze type of style. But Terence Crawford has very good footwork, and even when he uses feet, he's able to get in, get out, go side to side, lateral movement, and everything. Get in, get out. Timing is great, hit movement is great, and I think he knows that he can switch up. You know, he can come with one style and then switch up to a whole totally different style on Sean Porter and pull away in the fight.
Let me ask you this real quick, man. Let me ask you this real quick. You watch football? Do you ever watch NFL football?
Yes, sir. I used to watch football. Yes, sir.
All right. So you're familiar with like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter football, right? So which of these two fighters do you think will have more momentum heading into the fourth quarter of the fight? And which fighter will be trying to protect the lead? And which do you think will have the advantage? Being the underdog or trying to protect the lead?
I think that to be honest with you, and to answer your question, I think that Sean Porter game plan is to most definitely be busy, get a head start in the fight, to overwhelm Terence Bud Crawford with a cumulative of punches. You know what I mean? Just basically just try to outpoint him and just beat him. You know, when it comes to, you know, winning the rounds, just basically just try to win the rounds. Just try to, you know, not just be effective and be accurate with landing his shots, but just try to overwhelm Terence Bud Crawford. He feels that the type of pressure, the type of come forward, cut off the ring type of style, and Sean Porter can be fast on his feet well. You know what I mean? And he's good out, and he's also
by
good.
the time it's the 10th round, do you think Terence Crawford will be ahead on the scorecards, or do you think Sean Porter will be ahead on the scorecards?
It's very possible, because I've seen Terence Bud Crawford be smart as far as a technical. Terence Bud Crawford can be that technical pure boxer. I don't know if you remember the fight with Victor Postol. Victor Postol was also a very slick style pure boxer that he fought when he fought him at I think it was 140. Terence Bud Crawford can fight that type of style and can most definitely be the more effective and most smarter fighter fighting on the outside, like he did against Victor Postol, against a Sean Porter. You know what I mean? I think that his timing is even with his footwork. You know, his counter punching ability. You know, just the head. You know, he can be like a cat. He can be quick to make you, to throw you off your game, and you can be Sean Porter can be rushing in, and Terence Crawford can probably hit him with a combination and get out the way. He's fast enough to get in. I mean, to throw the combination, boom, and then move. You know what I mean? maybe lateral movement, pivot, or just good footwork with moving out the way. Just
Well, what
kind
do
of.
you think happens if Sean Porter gets in the 10th round or 11th round or 12th round and he's down on the scorecards? But let's say he clips him like Linares clipped Haney and he wobbles him. Let's say he wobbles Crawford almost the worst he's ever been wobbled in his career, like Maidana did to Mayweather. And even though Crawford may win that fight, what do you think as a fan? What would they say about Porter if he wobbles Crawford?
Shit, he took a good shot. That's all that means, bro. It happens. Yeah. It's boxing. You're going to get hit with big shots.
Yeah, you just get hit with a shot he didn't see coming, and in any shot that you don't see coming, whether you,
but if that's the worst he ever get hit in his whole career.
Well, the thing is, you can say like you can get hit shot with a clean shot on the chin or the temple. Sean Porter put force into the shot. He's flat-footed when he's throwing a shot, and it can be a shot that you just don't see coming that can hurt you. You know what I mean? That can really hurt you or stun you or whatever. And Terence Crawford can hit like Sean Porter. People would be like, well, he's pillow fisted. He don't necessarily have power, but that's not necessarily true. If he sits down on his punches, he can hit you hard enough to hurt you. To be honest with you, he fights on his toes. So if he's more of a flat-footed fighter, Sean Porter can put a little force behind the shot and put a little power into the shot, and it can be a power shot that can hit you on the chin, temple, or chin or whatever, that can pretty much hurt you. You know what I mean? If he sits down on the shot. But he just pretty much on his toes type of fighter, so he's going to be hitting on a go and things of that nature. So it's not going to be too much power in those shots. So it can be like little stinging shots, but not power shots that's going to really seriously hurt you like that. It's going to get your attention. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be a hard enough shot to really.
Sean Porter going to get real cut up in the fight. He might get real cut up in the fight.
All right, look, man. Look. Hey, look, Bolt Hype. You've asked some questions now. Now let the whole thing start moving differently as well. Now look, I'm going to ask this, Andrew, because you missed out on this.
Okay.
With Sean Porter and Terence Crawford getting announced, we got another 3-4 big fights, as you know, coming into the end of the year. We got USYK versus AJ. CANELO versus Plant for undisputed. We got Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos for undisputed. Then we've got Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Now, if I said to you, now this is a difficult question maybe, but if I said to you, you need to get rid of 2 fights out of that list, give me 2 fights that you would go by number 1 of number 5. How would you rate them?
Okay, give me that. Give me the. Or I mean, like, okay, so I know.
I'm going to go by number 4, number 5 is going to be the eliminated fights. But we're going to say that's just a question, right? You have to. Okay. I know you don't want to not see 2 fights, but I want to say, what's the 3 best fights out of those 5-6 fights I just mentioned?
Well, to be honest with you, number 1 for me, people may have difference of opinion, but number 1 for me is most definitely Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk.
People did say that in the chat earlier.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great fight. Honestly, you got 2 Olympians. One guy is a former cruiserweight undisputed champion. Very, very fundamentally sound, very skilled heavyweight. And Anthony Joshua, very skilled, evolved into elite level heavyweight, very skilled as well with punching power. Very big and strong heavyweight. And he's also 2-time unified heavyweight champion. So that's a really, really big fight. Whether people want to recognize it or not, it's a big fight. When you look deep into the fight as far as the history of what both of these fighters have accomplished, it's a big fight, But I can honestly say the second biggest fight to me, honestly, will be Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. That's going to be the second fight for me, honestly.
Okay.
And then right behind that one will most definitely be Sean Porter and Terence Crawford. Most hands down, that is right behind the Fury and Wilder fight, hands down. And then I can go with the oh my God, man, I'm so exhausted. What was the other two? I mean, yeah,
I mean, to be fair with you,
Crawford,
you already
Canelo,
mentioned your
Joshua.
top 3 fights. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you already
those,
mentioned the
and
top
then
3.
and
A
then
lot of people think
well,
AJ versus
actually,
Usyk.
well, hold on, hold on. I want to refer. I want to kind of like, you know, and then I want to throw. Then I would say after the Terence Bud, because it's kind of hard to pick between the Terence Bud Crawford and Sean Porter and the Canelo and Plant. That's like a tie. It's
Yeah,
kind of
but
hard to pick.
Canelo and Plant's undisputed, Andrew.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to kind of put that one. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put that one before. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have to probably put that one. I'll say Joshua and yeah, I'm gonna have to rearrange. I'm gonna say Joshua and Alexander Usyk, and I have a reason why. And then I'll say Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant, because that's a big fight. That's a big accomplishment of accomplished fight right there, because that's a fight for undisputed. It's you know, that's a big fight right there. So and then I would most definitely say Wilder, because you know it's a title on the line. It's a championship matchup, so I can say that's another championship matchup. So I can say Fury and Wilder, and then I'll say Terence Bud Crawford, Sean Porter, and then you can go with the Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos Jr. This guy Cam is a busy fighter. He's gonna let his hands go. I think I can say that maybe slightly Teofimo might be the better boxer in a way. You know,
Teofimo's stronger.
Yeah, I can say he has the power over this guy, and he also is the more technical fighter. You know what I mean?
We'll see if he's got the gas tank.
Hey,
He might not have the gas tank.
Yeah, I think he more the technical fighter. Like he showed me that against, you know,
electrical power. You don't need gas.
Hold on, real quick, man. Hold on. Let me say this real quick before. Don't cut me off, bro. D Calico, much respect, bro, but don't cut me off, man. Please don't do that. But I can honestly say that. I can honestly say that Teofimo Lopez is more the technical fighter, you know, between the two, more the boxer puncher. He's a boxer puncher because he has power and he can punch. He's a big puncher, but can box. And he showed that against Vasily Lomachenko that he can box, and he's very good time, very good kind of puncher. Kambosos Jr. is a technical brawler, so that means what I mean by that. He can box, but I could say Teofimo slightly the better boxer between the two. I think this guy, I think this guy, he throws a lot of punches though. He's a very busy fighter with the as far as like the with the flurries and things of that nature. So it's gonna be an entertaining fight, and he's gonna apply pressure. He's gonna come in there to try to like just overwhelm Teofimo. But I think Teofimo gonna have the right game plan to offset this kid.
Hey, look, great, man. This is the first time I think we've had you on here, Peter, right?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming to the panel and the chat, bruv.
Yeah, I'll tell you who my favorite fights are, but I pretty much lean towards the heavyweight fights as being the best fights. I mean, people just naturally, when the heavyweight fight is on, it's the biggest fight in boxing. So me being biased, I would say Fury and Wilder is my pick, then Usyk and Joshua, which is going to be very interesting, and I'm highly interested. Then after that, it'll be Canelo Plant, which is going to be a unification bout. And then Teofimo and Kambosos. I know a lot of people are, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Teofimo's stature as an undisputed champion. But when I look at the rankings, he's at the top. You know, he's at the top of the list. So he's got a lot to lose there if he loses to Kambosos. And then Bud Crawford fighting Sean Porter. That one I never cared for. And the reason I say that is, number one, Crawford has nothing to prove, in my opinion. He doesn't need a test. I've been following Bud Crawford since 2014. He's fought a lot of good fighters.
It's facts,
I
brother.
mean,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, the guys that he fought at the time that he fought him were tough guys. If he was fighting
paid now, man, it's 2021. It's time to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, if he was fighting Keith Thurman, who's had one loss and then it was a split decision, I would say, that would give him a lot of credibility because Keith Thurman's no slouch, and he hits hard, and he beat Sean Porter, beat Danny Garcia. You know, he's beaten what's Bud doing, fighting Keith's leftovers is what it seems to me. Put him in with Rashidi Evans or Rashidi Ellis. Rashidi Ellis is a dog, speedy. I mean, put him in there with somebody that is going to give him some credibility.
Sean Porter is I'm sorry, Peter. I'm about to head out. Shout out to Peter. Shout out to Andrew Tucker, Bo Hype, my boy Calico, and of course, Rap Star Boxing Knowledge. A fight that we forget to talk about is Shakur Stevenson, Jamel Herring. That's another great fight on Top Rank.
Oh man, it's going down. What, for real?
You didn't know about that?
No, I didn't know, bro. I've been away, man. I've been away.
Yeah, October. I think October or something like that.
Hey, that's
I don't know about that because you got Cambosis, who's another undefeated fighter, Teofimo Lopez, who's undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Remember that.
I wish I had.
Tell him, bro.
Undisputed. You hear me?
I wish I had H Money's money for all these undisputed fights.
Hey, undisputed, and that's a pay-per-view. Matter of fact, that just show you the magnitude of that fight. That's a fucking pay-per-view. You know,
that's a good one right there, bro.
Teofimo Lopez, one of the biggest stars in boxing, bro. He's an undisputed champion.
Overnight.
He beat the number one pound for pound, bro. Come on, don't start that, bro. Get him in. He beat Richard Coleman, who was a champion. He's undisputed. In 16 fights. 16 fights. It never been done before in the history of boxing. Give the man his credit. Him and his father, bro.
Facts, bro. Facts.
That's all I gotta say, bro.
We gotta give him his credit, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta give him his credit, bro.
He's a young buck. He's not.
I feel good. He's going down.
Hey, guess what, Calico? Just remember this. Teofimo Lopez, he's the youngest fighter on the pound for pound list. He's the only young fighter on the pound for pound list, top 5, bro. Remember that, bro.
That's because he beat somebody. That's because he beat one.
Because he beat the best fighter in the fucking world. Lomachenko was number one. He was number one pound for pound.
He beat the best boxer. He's not a fighter at all. He's not even a fighter.
Hey, guess what? He was ranked number one pound for pound.
January 2019.
Did that in 16 fights. It never been done in boxing. But check this out, Rapstar. I'm sorry. Let me just say this before I go. Rapstar, what do you think about Devin Haney coming to the UK to fight Maxie Hughes in a unification for that IBO?
To be fair with you, bro.
In the UK, though. Devin Haney in UK.
I get ya. To be fair with you, though. I mean, there's not many people going to be that interested in that fight. That's just me being real. It's for an IBO title because Maxie Hughes is not really a big fighter in England. You know what I'm saying? He just come into position. Now, for me, I want to see Devin Haney fight Zepeda. I'd rather see Devin Haney fight Zepeda. I heard Bill Haney saying yesterday. I heard Bill Haney came in on your channel saying that they're looking at Regis Prograde. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, he did say that. He mentioned Regis Prograde.
So those fights to me are way bigger than any Maxie Hughes because I look at Devin Haney right near Teofimo Lopez and under Lomachenko's name now. You get me? So I have to start looking at those kind of opponents for him. So yeah, for me, I want Devin Haney to bring the smoke soon, H Money. I want him to bring that fight. And I want him to start making that noise so that we can see him in a big fight, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, Rapstar now. Jojo Diaz, who's the mandatory to fight Devin Haney, he wants to fight Ryan Garcia. So Devin Haney has a voluntary defense. They offering Devin Haney big money to fight Maxie Hughes in the
Yeah, but
UK.
then it's all business again, bro. It's not
But
legacy.
but let's just talk about
Is it
like Tio.
official?
You remember?
Is that really official?
Well, hold on, Bo Hype. Now, Teofimo Lopez, he wanted to fight George Kambosos in Australia for a lot of money. Now, Devin Haney, he's getting a lot of money to go fight in the UK. Devin Haney's big in the UK. You know that.
Maxi Hughes is not really a big fight for the fans all over the world, though.
But the fans will come to watch Devin Haney fight in the UK. Eddie Hearn is trying to build him as a star in the UK, my brother.
The problem
So
is,
are they going to pay him in dollars or are they going to pay him
the
in
problem
pounds?
is, hey, yo,
Of course,
bro. The problem is, yeah, if only Devin Haney could have got a deal with Top Rank.
They won't let that money
Devin
off the
Haney could have
plane.
got himself into a position with Top Rank to make a 2-3 fight deal. All the big fights are in Top Rank. Eddie Hearn hasn't got the big fights for him
You
anymore.
know you can't take more than
You know what I'm
15
saying? So
grand
for
or something
me,
like that on the
I would have liked to see Devin Haney try and make a big fight on the other side of the street, just like what Crawford's doing with Sean Porter now. I like to see him make cross promotion kind of fight. But
Yeah, he's a free agent
if
too,
you can't
right?
get any other fight, then I guess he's got to take a payday, innit?
Yeah. And that's
You know
just the
what I'm
thing about
Sure
it.
is.
Yeah, it's just like if it can't really make get a certain fight right now at this moment. Because of course we know the reasons why at times why we can't get certain fights, the business side, and also
we don't have enough money, man.
yeah,
It's
it can be a lot of things that you got to take into consideration why we can't get certain fights. But if this is the only if this kid is available, so I think it was going to be JoJo Diaz who's going to be fighting first, right? I mean, he's supposed to be fighting first, right?
Yeah,
Devin
JoJo
Haney.
Diaz.
But he just fought.
And
How's
that
he supposed to fight first?
Yeah, they could fight in November. They agreed to fight actually in October. So, you know,
but
that's what he said.
when was that victory for JoJo Diaz over
Yeah, that was in like when they fought. It was
Javier Fortuna
a month ago or something like that. 2 months ago, something like
2
that.
months ago? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So this kid is that would have been a good fight because this kid coming off two wins. I mean, he beat the slick boxer. I forget his name. The slick boxer, the guy with the Tevin Farmer. You know, JoJo Diaz. He beat Tevin Farmer, and he beat then he beat Javier Fortuna. Two solid opponents. And so that would have been
he drew with Rachmaninoff. He drew with Rachmaninoff on that IBF.
Yeah, that's cool. But he's still coming off, a couple of wins. So that would have been a good fight for Devin Haney. Going forward because he got
reliable. Didn't he miss weight before and get his belt stripped and all that?
That would have been a good fight for
Devin
Haney.
Diaz.
That was at 130. He just moved up to 135. He got that was 130.
Does he have discipline issues?
Yeah, he's more comfortable at 135. That's why he moved up, But hey, Rapstar, I gotta go. I'm sorry, Rapstar, I gotta go, man. Thanks for having me. Now, Rapstar, we know that Anthony Joshua has an IBO belt, and Anthony Joshua is considered to be one of the faces of boxing. True champions like Manny Pacquiao had the IBO, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, some of the greatest champions like Lennox Lewis. So
the biggest face of boxing.
Yeah, so if it was good enough for a champion like Lennox Lewis and Anthony Joshua and Triple G right now, I think it's okay for Devin Haney to fight for that. That's just my opinion. Shout out to HLD.
I get you right, but the way of business is right now, man. Devin Haney's looked upon in such a name now that, Maxi Hughes ain't nobody interested. Just keeping it real. If that's the only fight that Eddie Hearn can get for him, then what was the point of him being a free agent all that time, bro? Him being a free agent should have showed the power. And this is what I say to Bill sometimes. You guys are DHP. Devin Haney promotion should have tried and made a big fight so that prove to the fans that they can try and get Lomachenko and try and get a deal with Bob Arum. But it never happened. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to
happen. The deal never came true. At the end of the day, Bill said that yesterday on H Money's channel that, they never approached him. But then sources said that Bill did get approached, but he didn't like the offer. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But if he goes to fight Maxi Hughes, a lot of people in boxing world they're gonna get pissed off, bro. Because ain't nobody know who Maxi Hughes is, Andrew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we gotta keep it real. Maxi Hughes might be a fighter in England, but he ain't even a big fighter in England. Now I understand though, if he can't get no fight, he gotta go chase the money. You know what I'm saying? You can't
and I look at it, and I look at
fucking Ryan Garcia. We can't get no JoJo Diaz. We're not getting no Teofimo Lopez. We're not getting no fucking fight with Lomachenko.
Right.
So,
And this how I look at it, Rap
then
Star
that's
and
what
H
happens,
Money,
isn't it?
H Money and Rap Star. This is how I look at it. I look at it that it's a stay busy fight. You know, you gotta get his money. You gotta get that money, and it's a stay busy fight. It's the only fighter right now he can get right now. You know, the only fight he can get right now, and he got to get his money. And then at the end of the day, you know, he has the what belt? I believe that was the super
He got the
with
WBC world
Got that
title.
regular WBC.
You got the regular.
The WBC world title, bro. It's not. There's no such thing as a regular WBC. Teofimo
Right.
Lopez is the
So he
franchise champion.
Yeah, so he got the worlds, right? So
He got the world.
so the IBO. So even if people don't even recognize the IBO belt as a real belt anymore, it's still a real belt because that belt at one time was a major belt to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people don't want to recognize it anymore. That's on them. But at the end of the day, I still recognize the title. And so Devin Haney has a chance to go get another title. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, but Andrew,
but I agree. But I agree with you, Rap Star.
The problem I got, you're calling out Teofimo Lopez, and we're always comparing Devin Haney with Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, and then when you see he's not getting the fights and he's fighting a Maxi Hughes, what I'm saying is it just doesn't. It's not what the fans want to see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's not a fight.
High expectation about Devin Haney now.
Yeah, it's a fight they don't want to see. But I just feel like it's a stay busy fight until we're able to get, you know, the certain fighters that we want to see him in the ring with, until we're able to get those certain fighters. Because as sooner or later, those guys, you know, the top guys,
pick up that belt. Pick up that belt.
Yeah, get that belt. You know what I mean? And get that money, and then I believe pretty soon you're not going to have a choice but to fight. I mean, how things looking right now, sooner or later you're not going to have a choice but to fight.
All right, let me ask you this, guys.
Some top guys. You're not going to have a choice.
Which country should Devin Haney, if he has to pick a country, one country to fight the fighter, which country should he fight? Mexico or USA or Australia, UK? What do you guys think?
I think you ought to go to the UK and pick up that IBO belt if he can. Fight Maxi. Maxi's game. Maxi game. He'll find him.
Of course he'll fight him because he's going to get a big payday. Because Haney's going to give him a big payday. So, of course, he's going to fight him. Everybody's going to fight who hasn't been getting a big payday like that. But
isn't that what it's about?
The problem that I've got.
Well, why doesn't he fight like a Thai or
Devin Haney fighting some big fights. And we've been talking about this for over 1 year now, right? We've been having Bill Haney coming on YouTube saying that he wants to talk about the Lomachenko fight, calling about Teofimo Lopez fight. Now, as far as I'm concerned, these are the kind of fights that the fans are ready to watch because Devin Haney's already been holding the belt for a while, so we're expecting to see these fights. But when you can't get these fights, okay, I get it. It's a business at the end of the day. And, you know, you can go on the other side and make some money with Eddie Hearn. Then the Haney's going to have
and that's basically what I'm saying, Rap Star, because
why do you guys never bring up Golden Boy? Why don't you let Devin Haney sign with Golden Boy? What do you guys have against Golden Boy?
And that's basically what I'm saying, Rap Star. What I was saying is that, you know, of course, it's a payday. You know, he's guaranteed a certain amount of money. It's a guaranteed a certain amount of money. It's a payday. It's a stay busy fight. It's even if some people say that the title is irrelevant, but it's still a title. You know what I'm saying? So he got a chance to get another title. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, but at the end of the day, the fight is not. It's not a big fight. It's not a legacy fight, or it's not a fight that's recognizable that people are going to really pay.
We don't want to see him fight any pedestrian fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They don't want to see it, and that's why I agree with you, Rap Star. Like this is not a fight that people are really going to be really pay attention to. You know, maybe a certain. The fans and you know, just a certain percentage of people, but it's not a large amount of people that's going to tune into this fight because this is not the fight we want to see Devin Haney in. We want to see him against the other top guys.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair with you, I really put Devin Haney highly now because of him. What is he, just a belt holder? or is he gonna ever be the world champion? You know what I mean, Andrew? You can be a belt
Yeah.
holder, but you got to
Well,
start acting like a world
Title holder.
champion.
he
You know what I'm
defended
saying?
his belt, didn't he? I
Right.
mean, he defended that belt, so he's more
Yeah,
than
but
a belt holder.
we've got to
Yeah,
remember
but
he
who
hasn't
was the
been
challenger?
fighting mandatories. They've all been voluntary defenses. So we have to recognize that it would be nice to see Haney get the fights that we want as fans. That's all I'm saying. HLD, what do you think about this Maxi Hughes fight? As the
Maxi
Haney's
pads, that's where he
announcing?
goes, man. Maxi pads, when they're used, you throw them in the toilet and you flush it, bro. That's what you do with that. That's not a good fight. Ranked number 18, 5 losses, 2 knockouts. That IBO belt has no meaning, bro. That's a McDonald's belt. If the guy
Well,
was like a top
what is
5
the
ranked fighter,
WBC?
if the
What's
guy
the
was a top 5
WBC
ranked
belt?
fighter and it was around his waist, I'd be like, all right, man, that's cool. Go after that. But it's off of a guy with 5 losses, 2 of them by way of knockout, ranked number 18th, and conveniently now dropped to number 15th, so they can make this be, make it a legit fight for Haney to be able to sign up for it. That's garbage, man.
So HLD, you would have rather him face JoJo Diaz, right?
No, there's so many other fighters. I put a list down there. You got Lomachenko available, Comey available, Zepeda, Rivera. You got Cruz. You got guys who are much more better, available right now than that. If anything, you have the opportunity. I'm still on the same thing. He still has the opportunity to make a fight with Teofimo. He wants to grab it, then he needs to grab it. No excuses. Simple as that. He has Teofimo wants to put himself in deep water and fight 1 month afterwards in November. Then let him. That's Teal's problem. He should be saying, "Damn it! Here's the opportunity. I'm gonna take it." That's it.
Well, it seems like the opportunity is there.
The opportunity is there.
Yeah,
They
the
just gotta make it
opportunity is
happen.
there right now with Hughes, because nobody else is. Haney doesn't have to call those
Man,
people up.
the guy
They
has
have
had
to
3
call
cherry
him up.
pick fights, man. How many more
He's
of
the
these
guy with the
garbage fights
belt.
does a kid need
If
on his
Beta
belt?
wants to fight, call Haney. You know, if those guys want to call him and petition him and make a fight, but they aren't.
No, the problem is
He
because if they
petitioned.
can't
They
get
don't
new
petition.
followers,
He's
if they can't get
petitioned
more
the last
followers
3
on
fights.
IG
So
from
if he could petition all these other cherry picks, he could petition to fight the other good fights.
He doesn't have to. He's got the belt. They need to be
But he
petitioning him.
already did. But he already has, and he's been doing that. His last 3 fights have
many
all been
followers is he
voluntary
gonna get?
fights that he's chosen to pick to fight. So it's the same energy for that. Then there should be the same energy for anybody else. Those other 3 guys were calling him out.
So he picked Linares? No, he didn't.
He picked.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
WBC picked him for him.
No, he didn't, bro. If you don't know the rules, I expect you not to be talking, man. If you don't
Because the
understand what
WBC
happened
is
there.
a joke.
That was
damn
not what it
WBC
is. Who am I
belt's a
talking
joke
to begin
anyway.
with? Who's trying to talk to me?
Guys,
What's your name, buddy? What you go by?
Let's keep it boxing. Don't make
Absolutely.
So hold on. So
what's going on, brother?
What's going on with you, my brother HLD? What's good, my brother?
Good.
Yeah. I feel like I agree, man. Like, I understand, like, the politics and the business side.
Can you break it down for us, please?
I understand the business side and the politics of boxing, but I feel like a good start for Devin Haney for me was when he fought Jorge Linares. Can we all agree with that?
It's his first step up, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. First step up.
Linares is a gatekeeper. Let's put it that way.
But you got to still remember, tough fighter though, tough.
The guy was knocked out 2 out of his last 5 fights or something like that. The guy was not who he was.
HID, but we got to remember, still a tough fight though. Still a tough fight for Devin Haney though. You know what I mean?
And Haney washed him for almost 10 rounds. I mean, if it wasn't for the one shot, it wouldn't. It's not really a tough fight.
But it still was a tough fight for him.
It wasn't a 50-50 fight. I know that.
It was tough for him though. You know what I mean?
It was a 70-30, 60-30, 40 fight.
Yeah, but it was a tough for him because it was a learning experience as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, just step up.
Because there's a few rounds Jorge Linares did win, and Devin Haney did get hurt in that fight. So at the end of the day,
that's what I'm saying. In the first 10 rounds, Devin Haney probably won 9 out of those 10, maybe 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? So it was a big wash for that fight. It was, like I said, it wasn't a 50-50 fight. Was it a good step up fight? Absolutely. But now you're gonna go backwards. He can't go backwards.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, it was a tough fight for him because I seen Jorge Linares was able to hit him with a few good shots here and there in a few rounds, and I actually scored that fight 8-4. Yeah, so it was a clear victory for Devin Haney, but at the end of the day,
it was definitely a clear victory.
Yeah,
and that happened
but it was still a learning experience for Devin Haney, though.
All right, so then from there we move forward. Right? From there we move forward. All right, he got it. Done deal. What now? You're gonna fight Maxi Paz?
So now who we want next for him? We already know we want TF.
Hey, it's available for November. If he wants to make it happen, he can make it happen.
With Teofimo Lopez is available for November?
Absolutely, it is. He's got it out there. He wants that fight in November. He wants to fight. He's going to finish off Kambosos, God willing, with no cuts or bruise or being knocked out, obviously, and turn around and fight it in November with Devin Haney. The availability is there. It's up to Haney if he wants it. That's what I spent over an hour yesterday with Haney talking about.
Well, so you think within that time frame, because I know sometimes the fighters have the momentum, they stay in shape. So you think within that time frame, Teofimo Lopez would be okay to fight within a month's time?
That's his problem. He wants it. My thing is that's his problem. Whether he's going to be ready or not.
No. The thing is, it can be done. So I'm not going to.
He wants it. He wants it.
No, what I'm telling you.
They were going to suspend him for 6 months.
Please, let me talk, man. Please don't cut me off. Like, it can be done because if you especially depends on the type of performance he have against Kambosos Jr. So it's going to depend on the type of performance whether he'll be ready 1 month, turn around within 1 month to fight Devin Haney. But some fighters coming off of, especially if they're coming off a spectacular performance, they coming off a good win and things. They still have.
Hey Tucker, let me ask you this:
so it's possible.
When Teofimo fought Comey, was he ready to fight in a month?
You said what now?
When Teofimo fought Richard Comey,
when he got the knockout, of course.
Was he ready to roll in a month?
Yeah, of course. Because look at the
exactly.
Think about it, bro. The momentum. He barely didn't get touched. He still can go another probably 15 rounds.
It takes a
That's my point. That's what's expected. Teofimo just wants Devin Haney to hold off from getting a fight in November till he's done with Kambosos on October 4th.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because he already put it out there.
Where?
Who am I talking to? Because I don't even know who the hell I'm talking to.
It's Peter Von Arx. Peter Von Arx. I'm sitting up here in Wisconsin. Where in the hell did you hear this? Where'd you hear that?
Where'd I hear that?
Where'd you hear that Teofimo's waiting for Devin Haney to petition him? Where'd you hear this?
No, who said about petitioning him?
Well, you said Teofimo's waiting for Haney to talk to him about a fight.
No, well, I didn't. You're saying that. You're saying that. Are you a narrative pusher?
I'm saying that. I'm saying that
Teofimo. Let me explain it before you open your yap, bro, because that's what it seems like you're about.
Okay.
Teofimo wants Devin Haney not to pick a fight now for November because he wants him to wait till Teofimo finishes Kambosos October 4th. So he can negotiate a fight so they can make it happen in November. Because if Devin Haney picks a fight now in November, guess what? That opportunity is gone for Devin, and they can't make it happen. Teofimo's got one fight left, maybe at 135.
Okay, now shut your yap for a minute and tell me, how do you know this?
He put it out on national television.
I didn't hear it.
Well, that's your problem.
No, you know what it is? I'll tell you. I'll put it like this, right? You know,
in fact, I didn't read it.
Hold on.
You don't have to, man. It doesn't sound like you do much of either one.
I didn't read it anywhere, and I didn't hear it anywhere.
It doesn't mean anything to me, man. Me proving it to you means nothing.
I think you're making it up.
Your intelligence is coming out right now when you're talking, my friend.
I'll tell you what, your intelligence is coming out right now because you're blowing BS.
Hang on a second.
BS doesn't make any sense. Another excuse. Hey, buddy, who's the guy in the red glove up there?
Doesn't make any sense. It's pure blather.
Who's the guy in the red glove up there?
Are you guys gonna let me say what I'm gonna say or what?
Yeah, my friend, I'm just trying to understand who are you, so I know who I'm talking to.
All right, so
The guy you're okay, Bolt Hype, be quiet for a sec, bro. The
Yeah.
guy you're speaking to, HOD, is Peter.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah, he introduced himself, but I don't know who the guy in the top is. I'm just saying, does he listen? Can he hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think everyone
Not you,
can hear
Peter. The guy in the. Anyway, go ahead, man. Whatever.
Look, the main thing is, right, I think the
Oh,
problem
you're talking about the guy with the red flag up there?
I think the
I don't-
problem in here is, right, we're getting this misinterpreted. If
you
Devin
guys
Haney,
keep trying to put me behind the
if
8 ball.
Devin Haney ain't getting no other fight. Now, HOD said, well, there's a fight with Teofimo Lopez, right? But Andrew said it's a short space of time. So everybody's got some good views here.
No,
Tio's
Andrew
saying
Tucker
that he's
agrees that
ready
if
to
we could,
fight in November.
there's a possibility of making it happen. It can
No,
be done.
but HOD, Teofimo saying he's happy to fight in November. But, you know, we got to remember this as well because, you know, we got to keep it level. That Tio could be injured.
Rapstar,
Everything could happen in that fight.
But
That,
I also
how do you
some
expect
fights with
Tio?
fantasy
Hey,
fights,
Bolt
right?
Hype,
So-
shut the fuck up, bro. I'm saying just shut the fuck up. Let me get this shit off. Did you hear me say anything? Did you hear me say anything for 5 minutes? So let me get this shit off and then you can speak. But what I'm saying is, right, HOD, it's all right for Tio to say, yeah, he's ready to fight in November. But there is that possibility, like, you know, how much of that is common sense to fight after 5 weeks, knowing that you've been in a fight with Kambosos? Could he be injured? Anything can happen in a fight, isn't it? So, I mean, the only way you can take it serious, the only way you can take it serious is that if Teofimo Lopez is willing to sign a deal to say that, yeah, he's willing to fight in 5 weeks.
This is what Teofimo has with the power of the franchise belt. On October 5th, he could mandate to fight the WBC champion, which is Devin Haney, and that's that, because that's the status and power of the franchise belt.
Sign off on that?
Simple as that. Nobody has to sign off on anything.
HLD,
That's his choice.
If you heard him say that, I believe it. Okay?
You're not living in
I believe it.
You ever heard of the commissions?
But I
Yeah.
think 5 weeks, with the commission sign in 5 weeks, Tio can sign a fight after 5 weeks.
There's no
right?
commission in the
Now,
world.
the problem we got with Devin
allow
Haney,
that to happen.
the problem we got with Devin Haney, he ain't gonna make a fight, one fight by one fight deal with Top Rank.
It's
Now,
not
Top
up. No,
Rank,
but there's a difference, Rapstar. Right now, does Kambosos have to do any fight deals or anything like that with Top Rank?
Kambosos is in a different
because
boat,
it's a
bro.
mandated
He's not in
fight.
the same boat.
yeah, it's
So it's the same thing when Teofimo petitions with his franchise belt to make Devin Haney have to fight him. It goes under the same rules of the sanctioning body that he has to fight him. That's not up to Bob Arum or Top Rank. You see, that's the power that Tio has with that belt.
Right.
That's the power of the belt. That's what
Yeah,
nobody understands what the power of this belt does. He
Yeah,
can go
we
up
all
to
know
140
that,
and
yeah,
become
we all know
the
that.
mandatory
I'm the one-
challenger for the
Yeah.
WBC champion.
Yeah, we all know that. But what I'm saying is, logistically, does it make sense for Tio to fight that quick? Now, maybe Tio's hyping it up and saying, Haney, well, I'll be ready to fight you. But you got to get some kind of proof here. You got to get some kind of provisional contracts because otherwise Haney would be wasting time waiting. But the problem with Haney is he's not going to sign a one-fight deal. And he's trying to get a one-fight deal, and Bob Arum wants him to fight a 2-3 fight deal, right? So Haney wants to stick with Eddie Hearn, it seems. Seems like he don't want to fight a 2-3 fight deal.
But perhaps what you guys are not understanding. If Teofimo makes Devin Haney a mandatory, or they're each other's mandatory because of the franchise belt, theirs has nothing to do with signing any type of deal or 2-fight deals. This is a 1-fight deal that they have to make because it's ordered by the sanctioning body. So Bob Arum has to now go along with it and get it done because he has no choice behind that.
Yeah, you're right.
So what we're saying here now is if Bob Arum puts in for the petition for Teofimo Lopez to fight Devin Haney would have to take that fight, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, I was reading the rules yesterday, even to Bill Haney. The power of the franchise belt is that the franchise champion at any point in time can, by request of the WBC, mandate to have the WBC champion fight the franchise champion to be challenged. Even if Devin Haney was to have JoJo Diaz on the clock right now as an activated mandatory, the franchise champion supersedes the mandatories. So that's how that belt works. You see, so that's what I'm saying.
The only way this fight can happen then is that Teofimo Lopez has to put in that petition.
October 5th.
Yeah. So Teo has to do that. So it's all on Teo then to do that.
Teo has to do his part, but guess what? The Haney's got to do their part too. They got to also want to, hey man, do you want to start talking about negotiations in that time? You know what I mean? You know, they got to help too. It's not a one-sided truck. You know, they could come in and bring in, okay, let's talk, let's make things happen. You're gonna petition it, let's make it happen. But they got to work with them too. It's not like, you know, just one way, because then we're gonna have a lockout, right? Hey, you want the opportunity? Here it is. But they got to also play ball with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Haney's are not going to be looking to fight in November to Teo now, are they? They're looking for their own fight right now. So which means they're not willing to negotiate right now.
Which means they don't want the opportunity to become undisputed, because this is the one time they have it and they're not taking it. Any of us here, if you want something so bad and it's presented to you, you're going to do whatever it takes to get it. Somebody offers you a good deal on a supercard that you want. You're like, damn, man, he's giving me only for that. You're going to go and grab it. So this is the same thing in life. Anything in life. Here's the opportunity. Do you want to become undisputed, or you want the IBO belt? What is more important to you, Devin Haney? It's as simple as that. What do you want? For me, as I'm just a fan, I just want to see this fight happen. I don't care if they make 50 cents, the other guy makes a nickel. I just want to see the fight. Whether Teofimo's going to be ready after he proposes that challenge, that's his problem. He wanted it, right? So then he has to step up to the plate with that. No excuses, right? So it's the same energy for everybody. But if Devin Haney does not take this opportunity, I see that as a duck. And if Teofimo doesn't make it happen after October 5th, because Devin Haney waited and he doesn't try to make this fight happen with the mandatory or petitioning it, that's a duck. Then it's all smoke on everybody's side. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just trying to put the pressure with the belt. If Teofimo puts the petition in, guess what? Devin Haney can't run, and Bob Arum can't do shit about it, because now it's mandated and they have to make it happen. That's all I'm saying.
We don't know. I just don't know for sure that Teofimo even made that.
He made that proclamation when he was fighting Kambosos originally by June 5th. You remember, he already look, man. After this fight, I am gonna use he said it himself. It's out there. He's gonna petition to fight Devin Haney, because that's the power of the franchise belt, and that's it. No more running, no more hiding. That's what he was saying. So he wants to make this fight happen, but it changes because they move forward.
I do remember Bob Arum saying that if Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez fought, he would make it a pay-per-view event. I do remember reading that. So Teofimo may have said something back in June, but it's September, bro.
Yeah, but he just said it 2 days ago or 3 days ago that he has an open slot for Devin Haney in November.
He said it again.
He's not going to petition because there's no negotiations. When there's no negotiation, ain't going to be no petition.
Well, that's a lie in itself too. Rap, sorry, if you remember the conversation that Bill Haney had with Mauricio Suleiman, and what was he pleading first there? Oh, why couldn't I petition for this guy? Why couldn't I petition for? Because before all this stuff that you have to have a term sheet going. No, the proper way is that you got to make sure that the sanctioning body is going to approve this fight before you can start getting into negotiations. Because let's say you make a deal with this fighter, and then the president goes, no, I'm not going to approve that fight. You see what I mean? It's up to first the president of the WBC has to make sure that this fighter that you're petitioning for is approved by him, so that you can enter negotiations. Because if you enter negotiations with him and he doesn't approve it, what a waste of time.
There's a whole behind the scenes situation that needs to happen. They tell us what we need to hear, but the truth is, if they're not negotiating with each other, they're not even really getting anything ready to know what TV network wants to host the fight, or if it's all going to be on ESPN. Then, you know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Well, here's another thing, Rapstar. Let's say that let's say after Teofimo petitions the fight, right? And it's a mandated fight because Mauricio Suleiman cannot deny him. That's his right as a franchise champion. Once it's locked in, let's say they can't make a negotiations. Then it goes a purse bid, just like Teofimo did with Kambosos, and then let whoever the highest bidder want to take it. There's so many scenarios that can happen once it's mandated and petitioned with the franchise belt. unless they really come to terms without having to petition. They could do that too as a voluntary. But as a voluntary, then I think that's where Bob Arum could get in the way. You know what I mean? Unless he goes along with it. If Teofimo could have Bob Arum just go along with that, he wants to take this fight as his last 135-pound fight, then he, you know, it makes it simpler too. But with the franchise belt being petitioned and locked in, Devin Haney can't run, and Bob Arum got nothing to say about it but to try to make the fight happen.
Well, all
So
we
what
can
you're
do is
saying,
sit and
though,
wait and see if
HOD,
it
let's get
happens.
this clear, right? What you're saying is, what Teofimo Lopez said on TV the other day in front of the world, he said, if Devin Haney wants to fight me in November, he can wait and we can make this fight happen, right?
Absolutely.
So basically, if Teofimo Lopez, what HLD is saying, it kind of makes sense too. If Teofimo Lopez is saying that, why don't the Haneys trap him and put his word where his word is and try and make him fight that quick then? But as you know, HLD, you can say for one thing, yeah, you want to fight straight after November, but anything can happen in the Cambosis fight, and Teo can get injured, and there won't be a fight in November.
Well, that's where then you can have this Maxi guys as a secondary fight. He could, hey, look, guess what? I'm waiting for October for this fight with Teofimo in October. Let's see how he comes out of it. If we cannot make out a deal, then guess what? You're the next guy in. It's as simple as that. It's no big deal than any other fight when there's another guy who steps in. You know what I mean? So that's what Max Hughes could be. But if they want the opportunity for the undisputed, here it is. Teofimo's, if he doesn't get this fight probably in November with Devin Haney, I think this Cambosos fight will be the last 135-pound fight that we'll see Teofimo in, because he's ready for 140.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Andrew? That if Teofimo Lopez is saying in front of everybody, right, that fight me in November, should the Haneys put him in his position and try and trap him on his word and say, okay, he's opening his mouth, he wants to fight in November straight after October, right? Haney's a free agent, so the Haneys are free agent. They can go and make some noise now and say, okay, let's make this deal. Let's put him in his place. Let's put this test together. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to negotiating, and both teams pretty much communicating with each other. Both teams communicating with each other. You know, Haney team, Teofimo Lopez Sr., you know, Bill Haney, them guys coming together and just talking up really if they really seriously want to make this fight happen, other than just leaving it in the hands of the sanctioning body or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, if they really want this fight, you know, if Teofimo Lopez and his team really want this fight, you know, if Devin Haney and his team really want this fight, it all comes down to negotiating. It comes down to having the conversation, sitting down, having a meeting, talking over the phone, however they do it behind the scenes, and listen, this is what we're going to do. This is what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? This is the fight that people really want to see, and let's really make it happen. You know, Bill and Senior and Lopez Senior, they communicate with each other anyways. You know, they bump heads with each other and stuff like that, talking about, you know, making the fight happen, let's make the fight happen and things of that nature, because the fans, the boxing fans, is really pushing for this fight. You know, we really, you know, us, you know, media, whatever, here on YouTube, we are pushing for this fight. Us true hardcore boxing fans is pushing for this fight. You know what I mean? Whether petition or whatever, still, you know what I mean? It's all about the two teams coming together and making this, and they can come together and make this fight happen if they really want this fight on both, and it goes for both ends. Teofimo in, Devin Haney in, and they come together, they talk, communicate with each other, be on the same page, come to agreement, negotiate, and let's make this fight happen. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, there's two ways to go about it. They could play nice with each other, or they could happen what we just saw today with Bud Crawford and Porter, where the sanctioning body forced it to happen. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
they could play nice, but once Teofimo sanctions this, right, they have to now do it. You know what I mean? But they could play nice before it. They could just say, hey man, do you want to do this? Let's do it. But I mean, Teofimo, let's be real. And I what I got from yesterday, there's a lot of ego stuff. You know what I mean? Oh, who's the mandatory? Who's the challenger? I'm like, man, who cares, man? You want you want to be you want your son to be undisputed? Here's the opportunity. Teofimo doesn't need that side. He could just leave after this fight with Kambosos, go to 140, and he could take his franchise belt with him to petition to fight the champion up there. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to stay at 135 for anything. But if he has the opportunity, he's saying he'll take it in November. So make it happen. Here's your opportunity for your son to be undisputed. Make it happen.
Yes, and I agree, because he has a big opportunity and a major opportunity to become undisputed at 140, fighting moving up to fight the likes, because I believe he would be in position to do so and to fight the likes of a Josh Taylor.
Yeah, you know especially after today, guys. Taylor wanted to fight Crawford, but guess what? Because this fight got into term sheet agreement with Bob Arum, this is going to be Crawford's last contractual fight with Bob Arum. So if Crawford wins in November, whatever this fight is, and he decides to then split to PBC, which is what they kind of heard because he was going to MTK for management, which then has their fights on PBC. If he leaves, then what's the point of Taylor going up to 147? There's nothing that Bob Arum has for him up there. You see what I'm saying? So if Crawford wins and leaves, then Taylor's going to end up staying at 140. He'll probably take the big payday fight with Teofimo, which Teofimo then goes up there and fights him. And it's a great opportunity. So I'm just saying for Bill Haney, help make this fight happen. You want your son to be undisputed, here it is, because Teofimo's moving.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he is moving. I mean, that's one thing we got to be honest about. I'm just got to keep it real. You know what I mean? Of course, you know, and being inactive, and you got to take into consideration of what we're still dealing with as far as pandemic and this COVID situation. So we can't. It's a lot of things we got to look at with his situation, regarding his situation, and fights being delayed. The reason why the fight was being was delayed between him and Kambosos Jr. and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, he is, you know, whether people recognize him as undisputed, you know, or unified champion. You know what I mean? But you got to keep in consideration that they look at the franchise belt. That is the top belt, the #1 belt over all the other belts in that sanctioning body when it comes to the World Boxing Council. So we got to keep in mind when it comes to the WBC, the franchise belt, he holds that title. So you got to keep it. Let's keep it real. If that title is over any other title, the franchise, is that the #1 recognizable belt, then we got to keep in mind he is undisputed.
You know, and I mean, you know, that's an argument in itself for, you know, if you want to consider him or not, whatever. But still, that he has the power to do right now what he wants to do. He has all the, you know, he's got everything. He doesn't need anything else. And I don't know if that strokes, you know, Bill Haney wrong, and you know, if you know, I don't know. I felt that yesterday. If who's the mandatory? If Teofimo was to then petition to fight my son with the franchise belt, then who's considered the mandatory? Is Teofimo the mandatory? Who's the challenger? And I'm like, who cares?
Right. And then you got to think about it. I mean, come on. You coming off you beat a big dangerous fighter in Nakatani. You know what I'm saying? You come off, you know, beating him, and then you beat a dangerous opponent, a very tough fighter in Richard Cotemay. He was champion. He was a champion. You know what I mean? And then you beat at the time #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. You know what I'm saying? And capture the titles from him and was the top guy at lightweight. So it's just at the end of the day, you got to respect this guy. You got to respect this guy for what he's accomplished at a short period of time. We're talking about 16 wins. How many knockouts? 12. You know what I mean? Come on now. And then look what he has accomplished within that amount of fights. So, and no disrespect to Devin Haney, but at the end of the day, you know, if the opportunity presents itself where he can get that fight, the team Haney, Bill Haney and Devin Haney promotion need to step on Eddie Hearn, with co-promotion with Eddie Hearn. I think he's still with Eddie Hearn, right?
They're loosely, but they can do in one type.
It's like a partnership, like
something
that, right?
like that. It's weird, yeah.
Yeah. So if
It's like it's like you broke up with your girl, but you're still banging her. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can put it, man.
Yeah, so it's gonna be up to them, man, to step on the gas, man, and make it happen. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. If I'm Devin Haney and like what he's saying, he wants to fight me in a 1 month's time, and I can have a fresh camp. I mean, what else? I mean, what else is there to be said but to make the deal?
Right.
I mean, that's me. That's if the opportunity's there. Guess what? He petitioned to fight Santiago with only 12 days. He fought Santiago. He petitioned to fight Santiago with only 12 days. Andy Ruiz, within a month's time, stepped in. He called Eddie Hearn, man, I could fight AJ. And guess what? In 1 month's time after having his last fight, he became heavyweight champion of the world. So this shit can happen. It's just whether you want to make it happen.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and the thing is, I just feel, man, it just comes down to, it comes down to both teams really want both fighters and their teams really wanting this fight. You know what I mean? Because us boxing fans, we can be just like pushing, but if they're not putting forth effort to make it, then all we doing is just blowing smoke.
Absolutely. I mean, all I'm saying is if they were to sign a fight right now, if Devin Haney was to sign a fight right now for November, then it's done. You know what I mean? The one opportunity that they had to try to make this fight happen is gone. You know what I mean? Now, is there other talks that can happen behind the scenes? Unofficially, I think they can do that. I probably unofficially, I guess, kind of like in the NBA, when free agent season starts, everybody's already got deals. How the hell these deals happen in one day? It's because they were already talking behind the scenes illegally. You know what I mean? But I mean, if that's what they got to do to talk, and hey, man, all right, we cool with that? Yeah, we're cool. Then make it happen, man. And if not, then let's stop the cap everywhere.
Yeah, I just want to see the best fight the best, man.
Absolutely.
I respect every fighter step in the ring, man. And the reason why because I grew up from a kid watching boxing, old fights from the 50s, 60s, and on tape on the 70s, the 80s.
You're one of those historian type of dudes.
Yeah, and then I was actually watching live fights as a kid, in the 90s and and stuff. So all the way on up to from that point. But all I know, man, is that it's just everything that's going on with boxing, all the things that's getting in the way of making these the big fights or the top guys fighting each other. It's just ridiculous, man. Sometimes I get sick of it, because at the end of the day, I was like, it's really not, to be honest with you, to just keep it real with you, it's really not hard to make these fights, man.
It is not. It's just a willing to want to make it happen.
Exactly.
It's just a willing. Look, the one thing that I noticed in all this, and then this is probably just me just now watching, where you can make some speculation. Teofimo has put it out there loud and clear. He is not going to fight Lomachenko. So that's one step that he did, because guess what? Had he had that fight, then Haney fight opportunity is gone. He already took that off the table. I am not going to fight Lomachenko. Now, I haven't heard any rebuttal from Bob Arum, and he normally would have a rebuttal if he's doing something against his will, because Bob Arum don't hold back, right? But I haven't heard anything from Bob Arum about that. So maybe Bob Arum would be on board from them taking a fight in November. I mean, all I'm saying is, do they have to talk? Absolutely. Who makes the first call? I don't care. But if I'm on Devin Haney's side, I'll be making the calls because I want his belts. Teofimo doesn't really need his belt, but guess what? They need his to become undisputed. And if they want it, then there it is. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. If you want the belts, Teo's got the belts. You're not gonna get the IBF belt off of nobody else, the WBO belt off of nobody else, the IBF and the Ring Magazine belt. You're not gonna get that off of nobody else. So even if you don't consider the franchise belt legitimate, he's got 4 belts that you need. And go get it, man. Go get it. Knock his head off, if for all I care. I just want to see the best fighting the best. That's all.
Yeah, that's me too, man. In fact, that's all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all of us. I mean, it couldn't be me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it couldn't be me, man. I'll be forcing. You know, I did some amateur boxing as a teenager, but if I stayed in professional, went professional, man, I'll be wanting to fight all the best guys out there. And then I would be getting on my promotional team to make sure they give me all the best guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's the competitive fire in a person, man. When you're a competitor and you got that dog fire in you, that's what it is. You don't want to fight this. Oh, man, I want to knock the block off the biggest guy and whoever it is. You know, this is the other problem I got with DHB. So the zone really has nothing to offer Devin Haney, man. They don't have nothing over there to offer him but money, if that. Because I don't know why they haven't offered him another fat contract like they did last time. So right now, the zone has no fighters over there to offer Devin Haney. If he signs up over there, he's gonna be on a lonely island doing what? You know what I mean? Fighting the likes of Max Hughes and I don't know who else that they may have over there. It doesn't make sense. You know, it makes sense to sign a two fight deal with Top Rank. Make fights easier for you to go get after Teofimo Lopez, or if you go to 140 against the other belts up there, because they have those two unlocked. So if you sign a 2 or 3 fight deal, I mean, the kid is 22. He'll be done with that by the time he's 24, 23, and he can move on. Let's make it happen. They already got a lot of money up front. They made over $15 million at least with this contract with the zone. So they got paid.
Oh, yeah.
They got paid, and good for them. You know what I mean? I mean, hey, you got to give it up to them for that. But now, hey, let's make it happen, man. Let's put some weight on Devin Haney's resume and on his belt. That's all. You know, no critique about anything else. I just want to see the kid. I don't want to see him fight no Max Hughes, bro. That's dude. I don't know how the Devin Haney fans are okay with that, because I'm not. You know what I mean? If Teofimo wants to say, "Oh, I want to fight," look, I told that today. You want to fight Max Hughes as the champ? What? What, my man? I'm off, bro. No, man. And I told that to him. I mean, he was on on Punch Drunk's channel, and I'm like, yo, I'll pay him his praise. But one thing I told him, yo, the day you end up fighting the likes of a Santiago and a Gamboa, I'm off the bandwagon. If you're the champion, you fight those type of level competition, I'm off. You keep on fighting the best. That's why I'm here. That's why I push you. That's what's got me here, you know, barking like if I was one of your employees, like everybody accused me here as, you know what I mean? But it's because, hey, I'm down with the legacy stuff. But if you're gonna be fighting that type, I would be pissed. Teofimo said, yeah, I'm trying to make a fight with rank number 20 something. What? I'll be pissed. That's me. But hopefully they come to an agreement. I put my barking out here on all these channels. Hopefully that, you know, it just, hey, man, make it happen, man. Get some traction. If there's an opportunity, let's make it happen. The fans want to see that. We are the consumers. That's what I told Bill. He told me, who are you? I'm like, I'm the consumer. I'm your number one most important person that you need to be pleasing, because I'm the one who's got the subscription with the zone for a whole year. So if you're fighting over there, I want to see Devin Haney fight the best. And I told him, you fight Max Hughes, I'm canceling the zone. I'm going to cancel my subscription.
We're going to be the same guys paying for your son's pay-per-view fight with a big name. You know, we the consumers, we supporters. We want to see him fight the best. I want him
to fight the best.
The best guys out there.
And that feels like it's bad. I don't know why. I'm just saying, look, man. Okay, so if it's not Devin, if it's not Teofimo, look, Lomachenko still, it does not have he is not signed. I don't care what he is not signed. Comey's not signed. Like I said, Zepeda, Rivera, Pitbull Cruz, I think is available. You know, so forget Ryan Garcia. He's retired for all I care until further notice. Jojo, whatever, they're playing the politics with that belt, then forget it. You know what I mean? But go get the next high level competition and make it happen like that. That's all.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I would have loved, instead of, this guy Maxie Hughes. One thing I can say about him, it's not a course of fight that a lot of people are not going to be even tuning into. Be honest with you, not going to be paying attention to. Of course they are. You got Devin Haney supporters. It's somewhat of a fan to a certain percentage of his fan base might tune in. you know, and a few hardcore boxing fans, but it's not a spotlight fight that we're really looking forward to. You know what I mean? It's like we would rather see maybe if like Devin Haney was fighting the likes of a Richard Comey, and even a Joseph Diaz Jr. would have been a more of attraction. You know what I'm saying? Than this Max Hughes or Max
Hughes or Max, something like that.
Hey, bro, let me just get this off, bro. I'm from England and I'm not feeling that fight for Maxi Hughes.
Right,
because
and the thing is,
Devin Haney's in another position, bro. We got one champion. Look, we got one champion who fought a ranked fighter, and we all saw who Nakatani was, to Richard Comey, the pound-for-pound guy in Lomachenko, and Devin Haney as a champion has fought Santiago, Gamboa, and Linares. So I kind of agree with HOD. There's no point being a belt holder. You need to put some weight on that belt and on your resume now.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying?
Agree. Yeah. But hey, don't be sleeping on Maxie Hughes, man. That guy come to fight though. I mean, despite the losses, but he let his hands go. Boy, I seen some. I would have did some film study, man. That boy, he gonna come to fight now. I mean, Devin Haney's more the pure boxer, you know, of course.
Hey, but, you know what? You know why he looked good, right? Because he was fighting. I mean, hey, let me put it this way, bro. If you put two sixth graders fighting each other, right? Damn, they look good fighting, man. Wow, those sixth graders are going at each other. But then put the sixth grader with a freshman in high school and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. I feel you, HLD. I feel you, man. But I'm just saying, what if Max Hughes get in there and he just started going crazy on Devin Haney, though, bro?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Because I see this guy just go crazy on in this last fight, bro. Like just go crazy. Like just showing his had so much heart, just didn't care, just didn't care. Like I'm finna knock you out, bro. I'm gonna keep coming until I knock you out. I don't care who you is. I don't care. I'm gonna keep coming, bro. This dude was like literally just.
Yo, man, it's care. Like the dude can say, man, look at all the females I got, but then when you look at the females, they're like, damn, no wonder, bro. They're all busted, bro. I mean, you don't got no top 5 girlfriends, bro. Them all busted ass girls, bro. Yeah, I got a lot of girlfriends, but they all busted up, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what Maxie Hughes is gonna be, bro. That's how I feel. Anyway. Yeah. But hey, Rapstar, man, what else are you cooking on tonight? This is what the topic of the show was today.
Nah, bro, this is what you made the topic. But I want this.
Gotta get up out of here, though, man. I gotta get up out of here. It's been a long day, man.
Hey, look, let's not forget, bro. A young boy in Shakur Stevenson. Now, a lot of people don't realize, that this is the biggest test for Shakur Stevenson. And if Shakur Stevenson is coming against a guy who's had 5 title defenses in Jamel Herring. Now, we saw Jamel Herring's last performance, bro. He looked good. He stopped Carl Frampton. And, you know, Carl Frampton is a proven fighter. But is Shakur Stevenson, this is my question, that special fighter that they keep talking about, and when he steps up to Jamel Herring, what do you expect to see? Let's start with you, HOD. What are you expecting in this fight? And is Shakur Stevenson that special fighter that they're saying that he is?
I personally got Herring to win this fight.
What?
Yeah. Off of what I've seen from Shakur, if he's gonna bring the same type of performance that he did with the part-time cop from Nigeria. Yeah, if he's gonna play that type of fight that he did the last time, Herring is gonna take this fight. I think Shakur in this fight, he's for me is to see what he's got. If he take, I don't really have like a super, like either one of the guys. I'm not a super big follower of either one, but just based on what I see, I think Herring's got the advantage to win this fight. Being in the big spotlight and done this already a few times, defending his title. So it's up to Shakur. If he does the same snoozer performance that he did last time, I think Herring's gonna take this fight. So it's up to Shakur for me to prove that he's got the goods.
I mean, you don't see the special fighter in Shakur that is, you know, it's amateur
I
pedigree.
do. I just don't. There's something missing, and it's not that he's missing tools. I don't know if it's his psyche or you know, I don't want to question his heart, you know what I mean? But it's just there's a fire that's missing. And he was afraid to knock out this guy. He should have knocked out that last guy within 6 rounds. That guy should have been knocked out. And he was playing with his food for 12 rounds. You know, he's one of these guys who's making these ice cream car guys, you know, ice cream truck guys, like if they were pound for pound fighters, dragging them out for 12 rounds. No, man, take him out. The guy was there for being knocked out, but he didn't do it. And then he made it a fight. You know, so I think you know, Shakur has to step up in this fight, and if he does, hey, good for him. But at the moment, I got Herring winning the fight.
Hey, so Andrew, Shakur Stevenson, they say, you know what I mean, and your side of the country, they say he's been sparring people like Ugas. You know, Andre Ward speaks highly of him. They say he's a special fighter. When he starts to step up, people are going to see how good he is. Is he that guy? Or do you think, like HOD, that he might step up too soon? Because for me, I see the skills in Shakur. Now, I don't know too much about him, but let me see what you think about this fight, and what do you think about Shakur Stevenson stepping into this fight? What do you expect, bro?
Special young talent. You know, special young talent. Very fundamentally sound. You know, very to me, he's one of the young fighters I can say that's gifted. A gifted young fighter. Judging off his last performance, I saw something there. I think, and then let's get into that, he had to be a little hesitant a little bit, and had to be smart a little bit, because I think this guy that got that last opponent, that guy had a little power. You know what I'm saying? So he had to make sure when he made the necessary adjustments, he had to be smart making those adjustments to break the guy down. Yes, he could have got that guy out of there. I agree with HLD. But at the end of the day, still had to be careful and not make certain mistakes, because this guy was the bigger puncher. You know what I mean? But against Jamel Herring, I'm sorry. I feel like this is a true test for him, a true test. Because Jamel Herring has a lot of heart. You know, he's just not a dangerous boxer puncher, but he has a lot of heart. He has the will to win. You know what I mean? This Jamel Herring is going to test Shakur Stevenson's heart. He's going to test him. We're going to see what he's made of. And I think Jamel Herring is going to make this kid dig down deep, and it's going to either bring out the best in him, or force him to put on a certain performance that, you know, he's going to have no choice. He's going to have no choice but to put on, and fight a certain way that he's going to have no choice but to fight. Because I just feel like this is going to be his first true major test. That's
exactly how I feel, Tucker. That's what I was, that's exactly what I was saying. It's like, this is the fight where he's going to have to prove it. You know what I mean? I don't have him that he's already proven it. He's obviously we see all the skills and the talent, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like I said, there was something missing in that other fight that I'm like, it's missing. He's going to have to, in whatever that's missing, he needs to have it in this fight, because he's going against a much higher level competition than that other guy.
I agree 100%, bro. Like, I just feel like, I'm a little worried, you know what I mean, that he could fall into a trap in this fight. But at the end of the day, I just say, go prepare. Make sure you're mentally and physically prepared for this fight. Because mentally, if you're not prepared,
forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. You know what I mean? You guys, he's gonna have to be really on his on top of his game going up against this guy, Jamel Herring, the WBO champion. He's gonna have to be really on top of his game. And I know that of course, they're gonna be they're pretty much gonna be studying Jamel Herring. I believe they're gonna have to they're gonna have to come with a game plan that's gonna have to really be one of the best game plans ever, and they're gonna have to really execute it. If they're not able to, you know what I mean, it's gonna be because Jamel Herring is just that guy that was able to offset Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, but to be fair with you, Andrew, right? And this is just my opinion.
Okay.
Him being, his youth on his side, there's all that investment behind him. We know that people got their eyes on him, and let's not forget his amateur pedigree. I think Jamel Herring's coming to the end of his career. I don't think they would have matched up Shakur Stevenson, because don't forget they sparred each other before a few times, so they know each other. So I don't think they're going to put Shakur Stevenson in there unless they felt that he is that guy who's going to be able to beat him at this point. Now, my thing is this. There's not going to be any stoppages or anything, but I do see a unanimous decision. And I do see Shakur Stevenson taking these last rounds just through his legs, his youth. And if he's that guy, he's supposed to beat Jamel Herring, bro. If he's that guy, he's supposed to beat Jamel Herring. There's no two ways about it. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget, the guy's been in there with some of the best fighters behind the scenes, and nobody's got nothing bad to say about him. They all praise him. They say he's got skills.
But he's gonna.
That means they're never gonna speak ill of you. You know what I'm saying?
all of that experience, against going in there against, some very good fighters, in sparring and things of that nature. You're gonna have to apply all of that when you step in the ring. And then, like I say, and I always say it, I must keep saying it: style make fights. So when I look at the 35-year-old, 5'5", 5'10", I believe even have a longer reach, and it's a pretty strong guy, in that weight class, pretty strong guy. 5'10", pretty strong guy, man.
Tucker, I didn't realize that, bro.
Yeah,
5'10".
5'10", pretty strong guys walk around weight sometimes be like 150, maybe, and if when he comes down 141.
Jamal's 5'7". Shakur's 5'7".
You see what I'm saying? So this, like I say, brother, like I respect the skills. I respect what this kid possesses. I respect. Like I say, he's one of those young, talented, gifted young fighters, and I do pick him to win the fight. But all I'm saying is that it's going to be a tough fight for him. It's going to be his first true challenge. And I expect Jamel Herring to make this kid dig down deep and to make him, bring the best out of him. It's going to be this is going to be that fight that's going to bring the best out of him or either break him.
The one thing that Shakur's got on that thank God I'm looking at it doesn't seem like Jamel is a power guy, you know what I mean? So that kind of favor that helps him out. But what I did notice that he does have is that also is the guy's 35, but he's a former Marine.
Yeah, but
so there's that level of that's the part that I wish that Shakur had, is that by me already knowing this guy's a former Marine, I know there's a mentality that goes to that, and maybe I'm hoping that maybe he'll bring it out of Shakur in this fight, because Shakur needs that. He's lucky that this guy doesn't have power at 5'10".
Yeah, he's going to push him. Like I said, it's just the will to win. I believe Shakur Stevenson believes in his abilities. I believe he believes in his talent. I believe he believes in his skills. I believe that he is the fighter. He's just one of those guys, man. That's really special young fighter, in one of the young fighters in boxing today. And I feel like it's going to be a good fight. I don't feel like I feel like he's going to win the fight, but I feel like Jamel Herring is going to push him, though. It's going to push him. It's going to be a competitive fight. I believe it's going to be a true challenge for him and like I say, style-made fights. I just strongly believe it's going to be a true test, and it's going to be a challenge for him. And but I do see the kid winning the fight, though.
Right, well, put it this way, yeah. Let's just go like this, yeah. Let's just keep it quick and real. HLD's got Jamel Herring. I've got Shakur Stevenson, unanimous decision. Who you got, Andrew?
I go with Shakur Stevenson. You can say unanimous. You can say unanimous decision, but at the end of the day, Jamel Herring is going to have moments. He's going to test this kid's will.
Yeah, the only reason I go with Jamal is really his level of experience that he's got. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be shy about it. We'll see. We'll see what I mean. We'll see. I don't, and I'm not saying Jamal by a huge distance, but maybe like a 60-40 or 55-45.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying like he's gonna blow him out or anything like that.
Don't get it twisted. I would not be surprised if an upset was to happen, though. I would not.
Right. There you go. There you go.
I would not be surprised, though. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I gotta get up out of here, though, man. I love you guys, man.
Much love and respect,
yeah,
Andrew.
I'm looking to come out. I'm looking to get out of here as well, guys.
You know, I had to come over here and show my brother some love, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad another one of my brothers, HLD, was able to join too, man. You know, that was a big surprise. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, I love you guys, man. Hey, keep up the great work, Rap Star, man.
Thanks for coming through, Andrew.
Hey, always, man. You show me love, brother. I'm gonna show you love, man.
Always.
Much love and respect to both of you brothers, man. I'm
Hey,
finna
God
head
bless,
out.
man. Absolutely.
God bless.
Yeah, HLD, man. Thanks for coming through as well.
No, absolutely,
HLD, bro.
Rapstar. Anytime, my friend.
Yeah, listen,
We'll chop
man,
it up.
we'll
We
be
got a
cooking
long
soon
week
again.
still ahead of us.
Yeah, man, we could be cooking soon again, my brother. But look, thanks for
Absolutely.
everybody coming through. You know, thanks for everybody coming through. We had Cali in the building, Tycho, T-Pop, all of you guys, man. Respect to you guys for coming through. Kendall Miles, support to you. Whiskey in the building. Yeah, man. Thanks for everybody coming through here, man, today. So look, we catch you on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.